Commission meeting for January 7th to order. Roll call, please.
Dominic, Johnson, Williams, Lynn, Bowman,
Present.
Cawthorn, Gage Watts, Escaday, Thibodeau, Cox, Smith, and Epperson. We have a quorum, Mr. President.
Okay, since we do have a lot of people in the audience today, we'll ask that you silence your cell phones. We don't want cell phones to be going off while we're having our meeting, so if you would take this time now to silence them, I would appreciate it. Commissioner Bowman, would you lead us in invocation? And Commissioner Epperson, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Would you please stand?
Everyone, please bow your heads. Oh, gracious Father, we come now with bowed heads, Lord, and humble hearts. Just thanking you, Lord, for this day. Lord, I ask that you search mine and every heart in here, and that you just give us all forgiveness for anything that we may have done wrong, intentionally or unintentionally, Lord, and help us all do better. And Lord, and even in this meeting, Lord, guide all of us, Lord, to make productive and progressive decisions for the people we represent and for all in one. Lord, we just uplift you and just thank you for this opportunity right now. Guide and protect everyone here and give them traveling grace. These are the blessings we ask and think in your Son, Jesus' name, Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen.
Let's face the flag. All active military and veterans render the hand to brow salute. All others, hand over your heart. Repeat the pledge in unison. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Agenda additions. I do have one. Have a motion to add to the agenda resolution number 5, which should be at each one of these stations. Resolution supporting the completion of Interstate I-49 through an inner city connector. Been moved by the chair. Seconded by Commissioner Watts. Commissioner Lynn.
Because this is the last meeting of the year for the present body, I would like for this to hold over for the new body to be able to vote on it. Thank you.
Second.
Got a substitute motion?
It's not a substitute motion. That's just that
There's no motion?
I think, it's no motion.
Okay. All right. Commissioner Cox.
Is this a particular lane? I haven't read this yet. Is this a particular lane?
No.
Just the completion? Because we have meetings going on
Right.
in Northwest Louisiana. I know Southern Hills is going to have one at the library to discuss this, so just make sure it's not one independent lane.
No.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
What are we doing?
I mean, I support putting it on the agenda because you do have people in the audience that are here and they filled out cards that do want to speak on this. It's a very serious matter. I think we need at least allow some input at such time when that do come. And we're going to support it and put it on the floor for discussion. Oh, you have the chair have to recognize it.
You ahead of the game, girl.
Okay, let's vote to add this to the agenda.
I see now.
Well, vote for the addition.
Yeah. I was reading the wrong thing.
Okay. That failed, so it's not added to the agenda.
Next, we move to citizen comments.
Okay, citizen comments. We have quite a few. Start off with Kevin Anderson. Please give us your name and address.
Yes, sir. My name is Kevin Anderson. I live at 610 Pine Acres Road off of Old Morning Sport in Shreveport, 71107. On December the 6th, I arrived up in my driveway and had an orange notice on my front door. Been living there since August of 12 after a fiance died. And this notice stated that I should not attempt to turn on water. If I did turn on water, I could be prosecuted or fined or something to that degree. So it was about 4:45. I called the office. I got a lady on the phone, and she stated that I told her it was an orange notice Didn't understand it. She said, well, you need to come down here and take care of it. I said, well, where are you located? I got an address. And I said, I can't make it today. I'll come first thing tomorrow. So I went on December the 7th and walk in with my notice, and she told me that you apparently weren't informed that there's a sewer and a water bill out where I live. I've never lived in Caddo Parish. I've been paying, and she asked if I had been dealing with Pine Hill Waterworks. I said yes. Asked her what I need to do. I paid $75 setup fee. I have a check, or a copy of a check. Make a long story short, I arrived in my driveway 2 days ago, and I have a bill for $1,359.45. Usage is 0, previous 0, current 0, and I see there's a board meeting on the 19th, and I was just asking advice of what I needed to do on going back. I mean, I don't have a problem paying a service or for a service, but don't go back. I had no clue. Wherever I've lived is Benton, Bossier, Houghton, and I've always paid one bill for water and sewer. I didn't even know there was 2 entities. So that's my question, or my...
Okay, we can't really answer questions, but
Okay.
there are 2 entities in your area, the water district and the sewer board. What I would do is have my business card.
Okay.
Call, and I tell you what needs to happen.
Thank you, sir.
Next person is Martha Merrick. Please give us your name and address.
Sure. My name is Martha Merritt. My address is 2307 Texas Avenue, Shreveport, Louisiana, 71103. I'm here to talk about disaster assistance, and I don't know if we want to talk about that now or wait until we get that part of the discussion for disaster later in the agenda.
Now will be fine.
Pardon?
Now it's fine.
Now, okay. I am here representing an organization called Northwest Louisiana Voluntary Organizations to Aid in Disaster. Our organization is comprised of many, many nonprofits in the area that service Caddo, Bossier parishes. And we've been operating for more than 10 years. And normally what we do is we provide disaster assistance for any type of disaster in our service area. It could be evacuees for hurricanes. Most recently, we aided in the disaster for the spring Red River flood victims. We established some, what we called, there were events that were held. There were 5 events held at Mount Canaan Baptist Church and Southern University to provide immediate services for our flood victims. We provided about $250,000 worth of services between 8 organizations, all for just Caddo Parish. And I am here to ask for your consideration for reimbursement for $97,000 of that $250,000. Part of that $250,000 are things like payroll and labor and things that we know are not items that are reimbursable through Caddo Parish, but for the tangible items, food, clothing, we provided rental assistance to help these individuals immediately. I have provided you a list, I believe, that was passed around of the services and the clients that we assisted, and I'm here to ask for your consideration for reimbursement to these 8 organizations for the amount of $96,991.36.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hannette Culpepper.
Hi, my name is Lynette Culpepper. My address,
Speaking to the
excuse me.
microphone and give us your
Hi,
name and
I'm Lynette Culpepper. My address is 2307 Texas Avenue, Shreveport, Louisiana, 71103. I am following up on what Ms. Martha Merrick just talked about. I'd like to thank you all for the opportunity to speak today. In the spring of 2005, I was part of the Northwest Louisiana voluntary organizations that provided the disaster assistance. I focused on the food assistance and SNAP benefits. I spent 5 days with the Multi-Agency Resource Center at Southern University and Mount Canaan. The flood victims at the time were overwhelmed. They had grief and they didn't know where to go. So it helped with all us being there at the same time to be in a place to provide assistance. And they were so thankful for the assistance that we provided during that time. I hope you will support our request today. Thank you.
Thank you. Next person is Michael Amin.
I think that may be on the public hearing for the,
Yeah, man. Oh,
Zoning case, I think it's
okay,
zoning.
yeah, this is Michael. Michael, just hold up. Hold up, Michael. That's another one going in. Kenneth Krepp.
Kenneth Krepp, 157 Archer, Shreveport, 71105. Happy New Year, everybody. A little late, and just a request that I don't know the last time the Caddo Commission had a home rule charter committee. I know we've done it several times in the last 30 years, 5 or 6, which is really good. I've been trying to get the city to do one for years. They don't seem interested. But I just want to recommend, after the new body is constituted, the newly elected commissioners are sworn in, I think with some of the problems we've run into with retirement and CPRs, and I just think we need to revisit that in the first few months of the new year. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next group is talking about resolution number 5, which was not added to the agenda. First person is Terry Trash.
It's a group of us here. We pass on that. Thank you.
Okay, the whole group?
You saying
The whole group? Okay. No, it's not on the agenda. They pass it. Okay, so that's it for public comments.
I think they done changed their mind.
Excuse me, one
Okay, so we have one person that want to speak on the resolution 5. What's your name, sir?
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Robert Handy. I'm a resident of the Allendale community, 1821 Parish Street is my address, Shreveport, Louisiana. And we're talking about resolution number 5, which I am against. I'm against anything that destroys my community. I've heard several things about why certain people don't want these things to happen in Allendale. One of the most profound things that I heard was that a lot of people are there because they have nowhere else to go. My question to you is there a problem with you with people not having anywhere else to go? What about our thousands of senior citizens who are in nursing homes who have nowhere else to go? What about our thousands of veterans who are in our Veterans Administration homes who have nowhere else to go? Do you have a problem with them having nowhere else to go? And our problem isn't that we have nowhere else to go. It's just that we don't want to go anywhere else.
Thank you. Next item.
All right.
we have no visitors. We move to special resolutions. Special resolution recognizing Tom Pace's 50 years of media service to the community. Mr. Pace, if you'd like to come up.
What's that?
Yeah, we already voted on this, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we gotta give it to him anyway.
Oh, really? Give him a fishing pole.
Substitute motion anytime soon now, I'm telling you this. Substitute motion.
Wait a minute. Gonna read it. Just
No.
Please stand.
Pace, if you would come to the
We
podium
were gonna
about
mail it
that.
to you.
He don't represent us. Please
You gonna
stand.
read it?
Please stand as we read the.
Would you please stand as we read the resolution, please? In the name and by the authority of the Caddo Parish Commission, resolution of recognition to Mr. Tom Pace. Whereas the local media dedicates itself to keep the residents of Caddo Parish informed on worldwide, national, state, and local happenings, and whereas this marks 50 years of media experience for Tom Pace, and whereas in 1965, Mr. Pace started his media career at AM station in Little Rock, Arkansas at the age of 18. He became part of the Shreveport-Bossier broadcasting community in 1980, and whereas Mr. Pace now hosts a one-man radio show, Talk of the Town, where he has been fortunate to have had opportunities to meet and interview many legends in news, entertainment, and sports. His guests, former Louisiana Governor Kathleen Blanco, Governor Bobby Jindal, Lieutenant Governor Jay Darden, B.B. King, Liza Minnelli, Ed McMahon, Montel Williams, Jerry Nelson Jr., owner of the Shreveport-Bossier Mavericks, and others. And whereas Mr. Pace devotes his broadcast to the good things that are happening in this community and strives to cover almost every local community event, celebration, and activity in Shreveport and Caddo Parish, whether it is at night, on the weekends, or early morning. And whereas dubbed as the hardest working man in media, Mr. Pace has done it all, from radio to photography, television, print, billboards, internet, advertising, marketing, and now writing his own book. And whereas Mr. Pace is diligent in his efforts to contribute to the quality of life for the Caddo Parish residents by keeping them informed of the local news and activities. Now therefore be it resolved by the Caddo Parish Commission the 7th day of January 2016 that it does hereby call upon all citizens of the parish to share in the sense and pride and achievement that Mr. Tom Pace's attainment deserves. Signed, Lyndon B. Johnson, President, Matthew Lynn, Vice President.
May it please the President for just a moment.
Go ahead.
Let me thank you on behalf of me and all those countless others that I've had the opportunity to interview and to host. But more, I want to thank the good Lord for the opportunity that my passion has given me. Over these 50 years, I've been and I've done a lot of things, including even teaching radio and television broadcasting. But the most important thing is a passion like what you do in public service from the heart. And this passion resonates, I believe, within each and every one of us. That passion is to be transparent, to tell what is on our hearts and in our souls. And if I've hurt or wronged anyone by any of the things that I have done, let me sincerely apologize.
Thank you.
But I will let you know. You're mighty welcome, Michael. I sincerely apologize for that, but I will tell you that it was never done with malice. And I think there is a certain amount of understanding that whenever you voice an opinion, you can voice it in either a constructive way or with malice. Mine has never meant or has been with malice, and I just want to thank everybody for supporting me on the Promise 90.7 FM, where I'm going right now after this ceremony at 5 o'clock, and to be able to continue my work for this community and for all of Shreveport, Bossier, Caddo, Bossier, and all the environs. Let me again say thank you from my heart to all of you for the recognition. You, President Johnson, you, Matthew Lynn, and each and every one of you commissioners that I know and love. God bless you. Thank you.
Tom, got some commissioners that want to say something. Commissioner Escudé.
Tom, I just want to congratulate you. I've known you a long time,
I think something significant in the resolution, if people don't know you, is you're in a tough business, but the bulk of the body of your work has been on the positive, on the upbeat, on the inspirational, on trying to create something, get us moving in the right direction. I guess it's so easy to just sit back and criticize and carp and complain and say what's wrong. That's always obvious, but I think you spent most of your time and effort looking for what's right and what could be. And that's refreshing. I wish more young journalists would learn that sometimes content is more important necessarily than ratings. But anyway, good luck to you.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Escaday. You have been an inspiration to a lot of commissioners. Love you or whatever. We're going to miss you.
Don't go that far with it.
Wait. Okay, but we're going to miss you, sir. We'll miss Michael Williams as well. And I'm here to say I know each and every one of you commissioners, you have always been stand-up people with a passion and who talked and did from your heart what you truly believe. Lynn Cawthorn, Doug Dominic, David Cox, you know, every one of you.
Mike Thibodeau, you ain't gonna miss him?
I haven't. Wait, I was on that side of the room. I'm going on this side of the room now. Mike Thibodeau, of course.
His feelings gonna get hurt.
Earl Bowman, Stormy Gage Watts, of course, the inimitable Kenneth R. Epperson Sr., Kim Smith. I salute each and every one of you. Michael, thank you so much for your service. Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Dominic.
We're not through yet.
Until we say goodbye.
Oh, yes.
Hang around.
Oh,
Hey,
sure.
If we let Michael Williams start talking,
Yeah.
you'll miss your 5 o'clock appointment. Hey, Tom, I just want to congratulate you, too. I guess I got to know you when we were back serving together on Caddo Council on Aging. It was a nice, refreshing thing to get to know you at that time. And I guess the same thing that Commissioner Escaday said, you used all your influence at that time to promote positive things for the Caddo Council on Aging when you didn't have to. And you always have been positive and upbeat. Congratulate you. Look forward for another 50 years. And keep working hard and keep doing the good things that you have been doing for Caddo Parish, Bossier Parish, the city of Shreveport and our surrounding areas. We love listening to your show. We love all you do. Thank you so much.
You're so very, very kind. Thank you so much, Doug.
Commissioner Lynn.
Mr. Pace, in the 1990s, you started calling on me selling outside ads for the radio, and I remember thinking, surely this man has somebody else to call on besides me, but you called and called, and
Lynn Automotive.
Finally I purchased. And I witnessed that now. All of us go to so many different events, and never is the case that I show up at an event that you're not already there, set up with your mic front and center, and whether it be a neighborhood meeting or a major event, you're always there, and you have certainly earned the record and the accolades of being the hardest working man in show business, and I appreciate you being here. Thank you.
I have to say that Justice Scott Creighton, who has been a guest on my show on numerous occasions, has used that from time to time, and I never took it lightly, and I thank you very much for that, Matthew. That's awfully kind of you.
Commissioner Williams.
Oh, boy. I'm going to tell the truth. Let me just say, I think what's been echoed around the horseshoe here is early on in my young career as a Shreveport firefighter, I think I came on your show earlier.
You did.
Glenn Robinson and I, we started a program, Firefighter Against Drugs and Gang, and that leapfrogged me into running for public office. So I can't say enough. Secondly, the one where you do with the life jackets for children. I think that is so unique and so important. To show with the pulse, well, your pulse is there for people. And I can't say enough about the news. How you've been pretty fair. I was just joking.
That's okay, Michael.
You've been fair and you've been very impartial about some of the things you said. I'm very grateful to have the opportunity to meet you through this life, and I think you have just showed a tremendous amount of passion, and you did it for love. Now, the only thing I would say is that not only are you the hardest working man, but don't forget about the Shreveport Sun, Mr. Collins back there. He was also one of the hardest working men in journalism. All right?
Yes, He is.
So we, here again, you're going to be around for years to come. And
Yes, sir.
As Commissioner Escudé said, we hope that young journalists can learn from you and you can mentor them. And we know how ratings now is what people look for now. So here again, I'll be seeing you. I'm not through with service.
Yes, sir.
I've been serving all my life. I'm not going to stop here because I'm not elected anymore, but I'll still be in the community serving the people of entire parish of Caddo. Here again, nice meeting you through this walk of life.
Thank you, and God bless you, Michael.
Thank you.
Commissioner Thibodeau?
Tom, you're probably the most positive person that I know in this city, this parish, and I just wanted to assure you that if the only person that has been offended by you is Michael Williams, you're in a long, long, long line of folks. Please don't take that as negative.
That's quite all right. And Mike, thank you so much for your kindness and all the things that you've ever shown as commissioner and former president of this commission, and all the things that you have done. Thank you very much for your vote of confidence.
Thank you.
Commissioner Bowman.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just wanted to echo some of the thoughts and sentiments of my colleagues on the Horseshoe. Also, I tell you personally how much you meant to me. You did the last interview probably a week and a half or two before my mother passed, and it was so in-depth that I even learned extra. It was so natural and caring, and you've done that, and you called and prayed, you know, when she was sick, and I'll never forget that. And I just want to thank you and encourage you to keep on in your service and doing well in radio broadcasting.
Thank you so much. And let me tag on to that. My thanks go to Al Moore, who has allowed me over there at Comcast to host a show that is a conversation with, and your mom was there, and I'll never forget that moment. It gave me chills, and it made the hair stand up on my back of my hand whenever she was talking about, Mr. Pace, give me my roses now so I can appreciate them.
Give me my roses now, Mr.
That's, that's exactly right. Thank you so much, Mike, Gerald.
Commissioner Cox.
Tom, you've been probably one of the honest media personalities in Shreveport, Bossier, Caddo, as long as I can remember. I met you back in the early 90s and learned a lot from you. We did get the life vest. You came to me, we got it done.
That's exactly right.
The night that we found the baby in the movie theater, the next morning, 7 o'clock, you were calling my house and my office. And we put it out there on the airways to get people to understand things like this happening in Shreveport, Bossier. You've always been an upfront, honest media personality, and that's why, you know, believe it or not, that's why everybody loves you. And you're just an honest person that you ask you a question, you may not like the answer, but you're going to tell your side. And, you know, good luck to you, because you're far from over with. And I just want to say thank you for your service.
God bless you, David. Thank you very much for your kindness. I mean it.
Dr. Wilson.
Mr. Pace, congratulations on a milestone 50 years. It's quite a noteworthy accomplishment. But I think our meeting goes back to about 2007. You were at Cumulus Radio.
Yes, sir.
And you lend your voice to the administration, helping us get the debt service payments passed.
Yes, sir.
And you always made room for us. And I think I've been on your shows many times. And I appreciate the hospitality and the kindness that you extended to us. And congratulations, and I appreciate you as well.
Well, Dr. Wilson, you're a good example of what it takes to get things done. And I thank you for your kindness.
Yes, sir.
And for being there whenever we need to talk.
Yes, sir.
One thing about Dr. Wilson, he's not a shy, shrinking violet.
Thank you, Mr. Pace.
Thank you.
Well, Tom, that concludes everybody that's on the board.
Wait, I didn't hear from Mr. Epperson.
Silence is gold. Be careful what you ask for. Careful what you wish for.
Tom, just walk away.
Oh, okay. I was
trying to give you your roses
I have to say this about.
Second time someone come down. One guy got on me down here on the hearing, see I didn't smile on them.
Yeah.
And then another time, somebody said I wasn't serious. I was laughing too much.
I want to say to Mr. Epperson, thank you for all of your support, and God bless you with all that you do. Thank you so much, sir.
It's getting deep in here, guys. Go.
We need to vote. We never voted on it.
Passed it already. Just read it.
Hey,
We
Tom,
passed it already, right?
Tom, don't forget your.
We didn't vote, we didn't.
Oh.
Yeah,
We need to vote.
I'm so excited.
Let's vote. I had the motion in second, but
All right, let's vote on it.
Somebody got to keep straight, Commissioner.
Man, need you to vote.
Cawthorn.
That passed 12-0. Next item.
Next, we move special resolution of recognition and remembrance to Mr. Ray Cornelius.
Mr. David Wolf is here.
I did something very bad. I did not introduce my wife.
Man, you in trouble. You worried about Ken not talking to you and your wife sitting out there.
That's a good one.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you'll come up here.
We thought that was your daughter.
This is my beautiful wife, Suzanne Pace, and let me tell you. Let me tell you, if it had not been for Bubba Knipe over there calling my attention to it, I would be without dinner and everything tonight. Maybe not even a place to sleep. Thank you, Bubba. God bless. And thank you all for giving me that one opportunity here. Thank you.
All right, this time a resolution of respect, remembrance, Mr. Ray Cornelius.
I want to introduce Mr. Wolf to you. I believe you already called for Mr. David Wolf to come forward. I just wanted to inform the commission that Mr. Wolf is Mr. Cornelius's law partner. They practiced together for 34 years, first at Foley and Udell, now at Adams and Reese. He's come up from New Orleans to be with us today. He's going to be stepping in with the Caddo IDB, and it was originally, I'm informed, Mr. Wolf's baby before it was Mr. Cornelius's. So he's stepping back in with them, and he will be further assisting us here at the parish with the projects Mr. Cornelius was handling with us.
Okay. Please stand.
In the name and by the authority of the Caddo Parish Commission, a resolution of respectful remembrance of Mr. Ray Cornelius. Whereas the Caddo Parish Commission joins with legions of people throughout this parish and state in pausing to reflect upon the life and works of Ray Cornelius, one of Louisiana's most esteemed and respected public finance attorneys, who on December 6, 2015, passed away. And whereas Mr. Cornelius' passing ends a career that has for his peers, colleagues, and associates defined the nobler elements of the legal profession and set a standard to which other business and finance attorneys can and do aspire. He possessed an imposing knowledge of economic development and finance law that was equaled only by his abiding intellectual affection for it. Those traits, in combination with his integrity, professionalism, and his devotion to improving the economic development of the state of Louisiana, enabled him to build a career that transcended the customary perceptions of a successful legal practice and to amass a legacy of professional and personal achievements beyond the capacity of this document. Whereas those foregoing truths were proven and demonstrated in countless ways during the course of his career, Ray Cornelius was the recipient of titles, awards, and honors that his profession bestows, including Best Lawyers, Lawyer of the Year, 2014 to 2012 to 2014, the National Association of Bond Attorneys, the Arkansas and Louisiana Bar Association, American Bar Association, and as president of the Louisiana Industrial Development Executives Association. And whereas an expert on public finance law, Mr. Cornelius represented private companies, state and local government entities and their respective departments, agencies, and instrumentalities in the negotiating of economic incentives and public-private partnerships promote business, industrial, and commercial economic development in the state of Louisiana. Now therefore be it resolved by the Caddo Parish Commission that it does hereby express its deepest regrets and profound sense of loss at the passing of Mr. Cornelius and the closing of an extraordinary and exemplary life filled with demonstrations of selfless public service. Be it further resolved that the Commission does further convey to the family and friends its sincerest expressions of sympathy, consolation, and the prayer that they will be comforted by the warm memories and tangible reminders of the richness of his legacy. Signed in Lyndon Johnson, President, and all other Caddo Parish Commissioners.
Maybe see. John wants to say something. Stand there for a second. John wants to say something. Go ahead, John.
I just want to say a little bit so you can take it back to your colleagues. I've known Ray for many, many years, and I think a lot of people in this room have. And, you know, it's quite obvious that he knew his business and he was very good at it. I considered Ray a friend because our relationship was more than work, and anybody that knew Ray and spent any time with him probably became his friend. He was probably one of the most affable, likable, generous guys you could ever meet. Very laid back and unpretentious. He taught us all a lot. I loved him as an attorney in that role, because rather than just saying, no, you can't do that, at least he'd follow up and say, but if you thought about this, you know, and I appreciate that very much. But I just want you to know, I'm going to miss Ray. Ray was just a good guy, and he was a pleasure to be around, and I'm sure everybody that knows him and knew him well would say the same thing. So,
thank you. As you heard, Ray and I have been practicing law together since 1982. When we were young lawyers right out of law school, we started coming up to Shreveport. I handled the Caddo Parish Industrial Development Board all through the 80s, and I was the one who appeared before the police jury and then the commission after the Home Rule Charter was adopted. And later on, Ray got a little bit more involved in economic development work, and I got a little more involved in local government work, and so he's the one that you've seen more of over the last few years. He was a real good friend of mine, and his death leaves a big hole in my life, both personally and professionally. We moved as a team all through our careers, both at Foley Udell and then together when we moved over to Adams and Reese. I'm going to do my best to fill his shoes, although they were a lot bigger than mine, as was his suit. I hope you'll afford me the opportunity to continue working with you all in economic development. We did do a lot of work on economic development together over these last 15 years at Adams and Reese, pilots, TIFs, things like that. It was really a joint effort. Ray was more of the thinking outside the box guy, and I was the one who he always turned to make it work. So it's a team that we worked really well together, and we're going to do our best to keep that effort moving, and I hope I'll have the opportunity to work with you all going into the future. Caddo Parish and Shreveport's always been one of my favorite places to visit and work in, going back, as I said, to 1982, and it's really delightful for me to be back up here today. And on behalf of Gloria, his wife, and his kids, and all of his colleagues and friends, I appreciate this resolution, and thank you all very much for your consideration and kind words.
Thank you. Let's vote. Passes 11-0.
Next, we move to adopt the regular session minutes from December 3rd.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Dominique, second by Commissioner Lynn. Is anyone that wishes to speak? Let's vote. That passes 11-0.
Adopt special session minutes from December 1st.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Lynn, second by Commissioner Watts. See no one that wishes to speak, let's vote. That also passes 11-0.
Next, we move to communications and committee reports.
See no one on the board. Next item.
President's report.
Hold my report to later.
Okay.
Later on.
Next, we move to public hearing on zoning ordinances. Zoning case appeal, SP 9915, replat. Property located south of Harris Lane, approximately 126 feet south of Harris Lane and 550 feet east of Goldsberry. Mark Ratley, applicant, Leonard Farms LLC, and Camterra Resources Incorporated, appellants.
Okay, public hearing on zoning case SP 99-15 now open. Is there anyone that wants to speak in favor of this?
My name is Lake Hearn. I'm with Cook Yancey Law Firm, 333 Texas, Suite 1700 here in Shreveport. I represent Mark Andrew Ratley and his wife Rachel. We are in the process of working out some details with the appellants who appealed the approval of the plat. We're very close to resolving that, and along with the appellants, I believe what we would ask is that this be deferred until the next session in 2 weeks, and by then we should have all of our differences worked out. And we're very close.
Okay. Michael,
I'm sorry, I'm Michael Lemaine. I represent Leonard Road Farms.
Okay, so you with opposition?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so is there anyone that wants to speak in behalf of the opposition? Now, you can come up and say what you want to say.
Yes, sir. Michael Lemaine at 601 or 401 Market Street, Suite 600, Shreveport 71101. I'm with Hargrove, Smelly, Strickland, and Langley, and I represent Camterra Resources and Leonard Road Farms. We agree with Mr. Hearn that we should move that. We'd like to move the hearing and the vote until next session if that's possible.
Okay. All right, thank you. Public hearing on zoning case SP 99-15 is now closed.
Next, we move to zoning ordinance for final passage. Zoning case appeal, SP 9915, replat.
Move to delay for 2 weeks. Second.
Moved by Commissioner Escaday, seconded by Commissioner Cox. To delay until our next regular meeting. Commissioner Thibodeau.
That's what I want to do, delay it.
Okay, Commissioner Everson.
Is this Leonard, L-E, how you spell it?
It's not L-E-A-O.
Oh. Is that located off of, what is 175 down in?
L-E-O.
No,
Where is that?
It's in southeast Shreveport. It's in my
Mr.
district.
Main, could you come address
my
that
district.
question?
No, but I'm just talking about, Highway 1. What's that highway that runs down through there and go through 5? That's 175, okay. So that's Leonard, L-E-N?
Right.
Oh, okay. All right, I just want to make sure.
L-E-O, like you had it.
Okay.
L-E-O-N-A-R-D.
Okay. Let's vote.
We didn't make correction.
That passes 11-0.
Next, we move to ordinances for introduction by title. Ordinance number 5556 of 2016, amending the budget of estimate revenues and expenditures for the general fund and oil and gas fund for the year 2016 to change the funding source for the Greenwood Sewer Project and law enforcement equipment. Ordinance number 5557 of 2016.
Hold on, Todd.
It's just the reading.
I know, but hold on. I would like to suspend the rules to introduce the emergency ordinance using 2016 budget appropriated for emergency funding in place of this ordinance 5557.
Second.
It's been moved by the chair, second by Commissioner Watts to suspend the rules to substitute the new emergency ordinance, which you do have in front of you on the second page. Okay, now, Todd, you can read the emergency ordinance.
Public hearing.
Yes.
Public hearing on ordinance number 5557. amending, I don't have that ordinance, but.
What second page you talking
Yeah,
about?
what second page you?
We don't have it.
Click on the blue.
Click on blue, but it's the second page on ordinance 5557.
Okay, I'm gonna read the old ordinance reading of it, and then y'all are gonna amend it to, is what you're gonna do, correct?
No, read this one.
All right, that's fine.
The one that says emergency ordinance?
An ordinance,
It's here, the only way you get it. He's got a hard copy, we gotta look at it on here.
an emergency ordinance authorizing emergency aid to those who were affected by the 2015 flood and the December 27th, 2015 tornado.
Okay, public hearing on the emergency ordinance is now open. Is there anyone that want to speak in favor of this?
I don't need to speak now.
Please give us your name and address.
Michelle Davison, 805 Brook Hollow, Shreveport 71105.
Tabitha Champeau, 805 Brook Hollow, Shreveport 71105.
John Hubbard, 428 Travis Street, Shreveport, Chairman. Excuse me.
President Johnson, I want to thank you for allowing us to come and present today. We have had the opportunity to work with a number of the families that were affected by these storms. We have currently worked with about 13 families. We have 2 homes that are completely destroyed, but we have another 8 that have major damage and so possibly could be salvaged, and another 4, I'm sorry. No, 3 that have minor to affected damage. We were also able to install about 41 smoke detectors. So there is definitely a need for that type of assistance, for the emergency assistance that we were able to provide during the Red River floods. The money that you guys so graciously approved earlier this year could really help the families that are affected in this area as well. This is an area that has a lot of homes clustered together, and so any consideration that you would give would be appreciated. Tabitha is our brand new disaster manager and has been on site the entire time, so she should be able to answer any questions that you might have.
Okay. Anybody else? No? Okay, all right. Is there anyone that wants to speak in opposition of this ordinance? Okay, public hearing on the emergency ordinance is now closed.
Next, we move to ordinance for final passage. Emergency ordinance authorizing emergency aid to those who were affected by the 2015 flood and the December 27th, 2015 tornado.
So moved. Second. Moved by the chair, seconded by Commissioner Bowman. I guess you wonder why I reworded the way it was. In the emergency ordinance, we can actually move forward today and vote on it. As it was written, the original ordinance would have to lay over. So basically, that's why I did the emergency ordinance. So just wanted to let you know. Commissioner Bowman, you want to say anything as the second?
I just echo that, and it's God worked out the time, and I think for us to be able to bless, you know what we need to do.
We'll be on.
Oh, we're on disaster emergency. Commissioner Lynn.
I'd like to make an addition to that and another amendment for $97,000 to the Northwest Louisiana Volunteer Organizations for Active in Disaster.
Second.
Thank you. If I may speak on
Second.
that.
Been moved and seconded by Commissioner Williams. Commissioner Lynn.
After meeting with Director of Finance, Erica Bryant, there is money already allocated that would handle this little bit less than $97,000. These organizations took money out of local efforts that they use to take care of our community and jumped to the task to actually work for all of these flood victims. The money that is allocated, that I hope that we vote on to allocate, does not include any salary at all. This is all end product goods actually received by Caddo Parish citizens, And all of them were run through the same filter that the Red Cross puts everybody through. So all of these people have also gone through the Red Cross as well. And I hope that y'all will support this amendment so that the nonprofits that served our community can be shore up for the next possible incident that we have, so that they'll be prepared to take care of the next victims. Thank you.
And the second.
That's the second then.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. There's no way I can turn down the local team, the local people. I mean, the food bank has a documented and demonstrated record. They've been vetted. They've been vetted by our administration, that these funds can only be used for, designed to be used for what the purpose they were designed to be used for. These are no new funds. Remember, these are our people in this parish that are hurting for no fault of their own, and we're the only government body to rescue the citizens of Caddo Parish. Not the federal government, not the city, not the state, but the parish. These are one-time funding events that's not going to be going on forever. We don't know, there may be another disaster. However, we've done everything we could to be transparent, to be open, to be credible, to be accountability. Why should we hold up progress on people that are hurting, that need these funds to carry on with their everyday life? You know, so I would hope that that we don't have a Grinch mentality after Christmas, not to help the poor people, the less fortunate, the despair, the people that need help. They're not asking for a handout, that's for a hand up. Let's grab their hand and pull them out the quicksand they're in. We have this opportunity. There's a fund that's already been appropriated for that. We have some of the best well-known organizations, from CCAA to the Red Cross, and now the food bank, collaborating, working together to help people. What more do you want? You want collaboration. They're not all three are not coming out asking for money, just one. So let's look at who's asking also. We want to do more to put food on people's plate. And one of the highest, homeless, veterans are homeless, people are poor, the state is poor. We do have a little windfall to try to help those that we can. So let's pass it unanimously and go into 2016 being inclusive together. All right? Thank you.
Mr. Thibodeau.
Yeah, I know the reimbursement that's being asked for is in the non-labor expenses, and I would ask that those items be, that we be given a statement and that they're itemized so that we know exactly what we're paying for. I certainly want to reimburse the local agencies, but I want to be sure that we know what we're reimbursing for and not just, write a check.
I accept that.
I'd like to know, see that the stuff is itemized. That's all I have.
Mr. Dominic.
Is this going to be legal? I mean, I'm asking you, Donna, to do this is the first question, because from what I remember, the way this original ordinance was set up, it was to help the individuals, and we were to pay for either the rent, their supplies, to rebuild on the Wells Island Road project, and now the flood victims, and now we're getting something thrown into us on these nonprofits, which I think do a great job, but we already fund them. And so I guess my question is, can we legally do that based upon the way our ordinance is drawn up?
I don't think you would have a problem doing it. I think the assistance would be limited to those persons who had already been deemed eligible by CCAA. So the amount of assistance may not come up to the total amount requested, because you're going to have to go by what you already did with the first organization. Right. As far as the,
I know that these organizations are great organizations, but we already fund many of them, and I mean that's what they do. I'm definitely for the ordinance, the original ordinance, the emergency ordinance, but I don't know if I can vote for this extra $96,000.
Commissioner Escudero.
I just think that we need to just sit back and be a little bit cautious. Mr. Williams said, I guess, it's a good thing that we were able to step up when the state didn't and the federal government didn't, particularly with the floods, and then we've got the tornado. But that doesn't necessarily mean it was really our responsibility to do that. And I'm happy that we were able to do what we did, but let's just realize now that, let's take the flood victims, for example. A lot of that money went into fixing up places that are likely to flood again. The problem's just going to come back in the future if the river rises like it is. That all that was solved was that their houses were restored or their homesteads restored, but that problem's going to come back again. And then what are you going to do? The government doesn't step up, or the state can't step up, or they don't have any insurance. Are we becoming the default mechanism for people who don't have insurance? Pretty soon we're going to have people coming, their house burns. Well, my homeowner's lapsed. I didn't have, you need to help me out. We need to be very, very cautious and put a little thought in what we do in the future. Maybe in hindsight, our assistance to the flood victims should have been to try to get them somewhere that's likely to not flood in the future. And I know it's an emotional thing. It's your homestead. You may have grown up there and all, but sometimes you just got to leave. Second part of this, I'm happy that the Red Cross and the food bank and all the nonprofits, they do an excellent job, and they rely on the community and businesses heavily for their funding, and they step up and they give. And then when something like this happens, they're able to do their job. That's why they exist. And I would think that they'd reach out to the community would go ahead and make them whole so that they can go next go round. Is the government, once again, we're going to be the default mechanism to reimburse them? I mean, I know many, many people who give to these organizations every year. And the money we're dealing with, though it's not ours personally, and it's big kitty, but it's tax money. It belongs to the people of this parish. How do they feel necessarily about doing that? There are times the food bank's gotten in trouble. They've had a tough year, more need, and we've given them money. We've given council on aging increases mid-year when they were running short. But just for a flat reimbursement, well, what's the next entity to come here and say, well, we blew our budget, in August and we run short, bail us out? Is that really what we're here for? Is that really what taxpayers' money should be used for? I mean, you can't, 12 people, legislate charity.
But you'll build a jail.
That has to lie with the individual. So all I'm saying is I just really think that in the future we need to assess these things, like the next flood in the next area. Maybe we would consider, this body would consider what's likely to happen down the future and is necessarily rebuilding or making whole in that flood zone the right thing to do. Maybe the proper thing to do would help them to relocate so that it doesn't happen again. Just some things to think about. Thank you.
Okay. Guess I'll go now. You want to wait? Huh?
Okay. I'll go.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Moore.
All right, thank you, Mr. President. I just want to say I do understand what you said, Commissioner Escudé. This is not the default mechanism. We're not a default mechanism, and I know we can't save everyone, but I think it is our duty as human beings and humanitarians to always try not to break the bank, but when we're blessed and we have competent people and commissioners and people in administration who can back things up and have credible people like Ms. Martha Merrick and other people or organizations that are very well vetted, then I think sometimes in this situation, no, it may not be an everyday thing, but while we have this opportunity, I'm going to support it, and I hope that everyone else will as well while we can, because yes, my people who I represent will probably be happy and wouldn't have a problem with us doing this, because all the people in the parish are our people, and it could be us, it could be me, it could be you. So I'm going to support us in this amendment. Thank you.
Commissioner Watt.
Thank you, Mr. President. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ms. Erica, we had $750,000 already appropriated, correct?
We had $750,000 appropriated in 2015. We appropriated $400,000 in 2016 based on what Mr. Guidry provided that they had remaining to spend, and then putting additional monies for other items that the commission may decide to approve.
Okay, thank you. So even after their surplus and giving this 97,000, appropriating these funds to help these organizations who stepped up, that will still leave us in the surplus to be able to help the tornado victims as well, correct?
Well, based on the estimates we have from CCAA, we should be able to provide them any additional monies they have for the victims that are still outstanding. I'm not sure what the cost may be for the tornado, and we should have the 97,000. The only question is how much it'll be for the tornado victims.
Great. I'm going to support this as well. And Commissioner Escudé, I do understand where you're coming from. We've heard many times before that people will come to us for whatever reason. However, I feel like that this is a legible reason to come to ask for reimbursement. So I am supporting this as well. Thank you.
Commissioner Cox.
I'm going to agree with Mr. Thibodeau and a lot of what's been said on both sides here today. When I look over the list that are on this for reimbursement or a part of this $97,000, we're looking at Goodwill, which Goodwill as a whole, you know, I think they've got money in their own pockets, and they can probably get reimbursed from the federal government. Under natural disasters, when FEMA comes in, can't we apply for reimbursements up to a certain point, Mr. President?
Public assistance.
And have we done that through the tornado, through the flood and all that, to see what the parish can get back? Sir?
We have done that with the flood.
Okay.
We didn't meet the threshold.
We did not, yeah, I remember that we didn't meet the threshold.
Right.
Right.
So we didn't get any of our money back, correct? Okay.
We're FEMA.
Individual assistance.
I couldn't hear you.
We met the threshold for public assistance. We didn't meet the threshold for individual assistance.
Okay, all right. Well, when you look at Goodwill, Louisiana Baptist Association, Salvation Army, those three entities stick out to me on this list as, well, they're already set up to do certain things for communities when natural disasters happen. I'm not saying I'm against this. I'm saying that, you know, some of these entities are that's their job, you know. I would like to see, like Mr. Thibodeau said, a breakdown, and she's good about her paperwork, so I have no doubt you'll have all your paperwork in order. But I do have questions about, you know, those three entities. They're there just like the Red Cross. Red Cross is there to manage and supply help. Well, that's a national organization. That's their job. So when they're funded, sir, when they're funded, I would imagine that comes from a national Red Cross funding and state. So there's just some of these that stick out that says, okay, why are we doing this? I can understand the food vouchers, the mileage, the labor, the gift cards, because when people are put in a situation, they, you know, their cards are gone or their whole world is turned upside down. So, you know, some of these you can look at and say, yeah, that's not a problem. The other ones, I would look at that, but we'll see how the vote goes today. Thank you.
Okay. I guess I got a question. Attorney Frazier, being that the motion is dealing with tornado victims in the 2016 budget, is this related to that particular ordinance? My first question. Because this is talking about the Red River flooding in 2015. So should this have been an addition to the agenda?
This actually, can we pay these out of 2016 budget for 15.
Amend it can be in this.
If they approve.
You can amend it language.
If you approve it, you can still pay it out of the 16 budget.
Okay. Then my second question is, I mean, I know that a lot of these agencies were part of the BOA, but then there are other agencies that are out there that also help the people in the flood that wasn't a part of this, that's not on this list. And so, I mean, if we're gonna do for one, we need to do for all, if that's what we plan on doing. Also, Caddo Community Action Agency has been doing above and beyond, you know, in the process of doing what we asked them to do. And that's dealing with some of this stuff on here as well, like gas and taking extra time, people doing other jobs that they typically wasn't scheduled to do, but you know, they're doing something else. They haven't asked for a penny. So, I mean, I think that this might be valid to do, and I picked up on what Erica said, is that even though this list has a lot of people on it, but if they didn't meet the list, the list that we were given from FEMA, if they're not on that same list, then they don't qualify. So this number should be, it has to be doing, it has to have a lot more vetting to be done so that we know what the actual dollar amount is, basically what I'm saying. And I hate to cloud up what we initially came here to do, was to help the tornado victims on this time around, and put in this, that we probably need to have more work done on the backside before we come back up and do this. And, you know, I'm not totally against it, but I think right now, if we vote on this almost $97,000, that might not be the right number. And we're leaving out other organizations that have helped in the Red River flooding. So I'm kind of caught in between. I want to help them, but at the same time, and I know what they did because I was there with them at Southern University, at Mount Canaan, when they set up those programs. But I just think that we need to make sure that we're doing the right thing and giving the right amount of money out and having the right agencies involved. So I would ask and hope that somebody that's on this board will probably make a motion to do something so that we can postpone this, or have a committee set up between our next session, so that we can actually get this ironed out and that we can bring it back on. Commissioner Epperson.
Point of information, based upon what I've heard at this point in time, I would like to request, have a friendly request to the maker of the, we got two motions on the floor, am I correct?
Got a main and a substitute.
Okay,
Well,
substitute motion.
An amendment. We got a main and amendment.
Okay, the amendment which will be voted on first, and that was Mr. Lynn?
Yes.
And who second? And if the maker of the amended motion and the seconder would, on friendly basis, withdraw that, because there are some answers, and it's a matter of fairness also. CCAA, Mr. Guidry has come down here. He has given us an immaculate accounting of every penny that was spent. He has not asked for any money for any staff expenses that was incurred, or anything that he may have incurred. He's done everything with his existing staff, adding those burdens that we gave to him. And I just wouldn't think it's fair for us to go back and do this at this time. Is it a possibility of needed? Of course it is. But the thing about it, I think we need to think about it a little bit more. Let's move forward and focus on the intent of this original motion, which was to include those individuals with the tornado, which basically we have a foundation already laid. However, there are some numbers that we may not be aware of. I spoke with Mr. Guidry the other day. He said, well, Ken, I think it's going to be some things that we're going to have to look at, and of course we're going to have to look at it. And I would ask that you all would withdraw that amended motion, and let's vote on the main motion, and then in the near future we would address those other issues. Thank you.
Commissioner Cox.
That's basically what I was going to make an amendment to pull this one and give it to the next board so we can actually get a better understanding of this and anyone else who has issues or has cost that may want to come forward. If I can get a second.
Second. All right, so we have a substitute motion on the amended motion to postpone this until we have our next, scheduled meeting.
You've got an amendment to an amendment to an amendment, basically.
Right, so now we're gonna vote on the one that David Cox had to withdraw the amendment to that.
Can I get a point of information, Mr. Chairman? Speak on it.
Okay, I'm gonna try to get to that. Now, Matthew, are you up on something else, or are you up on this particular amendment?
I was going to speak on the amendment that I made, which I would be the second time around. However, I'm very comfortable being the first time around with what Commissioner Cox just spoke on.
Okay, go ahead.
I would like to leave the motion that I have intact, and I am very comfortable taking a friendly amendment to it, that this amendment would include that everything would be itemized. And please, everybody know that none of this is salary, none of this is pay. All of this money is direct services to the citizens of Caddo Parish. Also, I'm willing to take an amendment, a friendly amendment, that all of the receipts would be itemized as per legislated by Caddo Parish. And so no bills would be paid unless they were approved by Erica Bryant. And I'm willing to put a 30-day window on that if they get it in 30 days, and that after 30 days it is cut off. And those are the friendly amendments that I'm very comfortable with, if Commissioner Williams is comfortable taking those as an adoption. And so those address Commissioner Thibodeau's issues, those address Commissioner Cox's issues for the most part. And I hope that we can move forward with that. Thank you.
Commissioner Thibodeau.
I want to speak on, I just want to say a friendly amendment
to his,
to Lynn's. Total expenditure not to exceed $97,000.
I agree to that.
Right.
All right.
Point of order, Mr. President. Under Article 12, Rule 4, an amendment to an amendment cannot be amended.
Yeah, you gotta vote.
Okay, so we just got those
So
two.
you've got amendment and amendment, and it stops there.
It stops at yours.
No, it's
No, it stops at Lynn's.
It stops at his original.
Stops at mine.
Correct. One amendment.
You're the original amendment.
You're the original.
As far as we can go.
Yeah, he tagged in
I'll
on
make
you.
one amendment.
He tagged in on you. So,
Mr. Lynn is an amendment to your amendment.
Okay, so we
It
got
cannot be amended after that.
Okay.
And I have agreed to all the changes that have been requested, and my second, to my understanding, has agreed with the cap.
Well, okay, Bowman.
Where are we now?
I was just wondering if everything did go through, that period, we would be able to do that, I guess, to be able to allocate. Would we be able to do that? We won't miss the period or window is what I'm saying.
There is no window.
Oh, okay. Well, we're
This
good.
happened in the summer, so.
Right. Okay. That's it.
Commissioner Williams.
My only question, guys, when people call emergency and 911 and rescue, they need help right now. You can't be denied and being delayed when someone needs help. When someone calls the emergency, fire department, police, 911, I need help now. When someone has a catastrophic situation, they need help now. You can't delay that. We too far behind the 8 ball. They should have got help then. Sometimes we have to be. I think we need to be more sentimental, have compassion, but also being legal and above board and ethical and throw everything in there. But when somebody needs help, they need it now. So while we delay it and want to amend and do this and that, people are still hurting. They still need help. No food, nowhere to stay, sleeping under bridges. And they still be going to these same agencies for the same thing. They still going to food bank, they still going to CCA, they still going to rescue mission, they still going to Salvation Army, to these churches. They got a lot of poor people living in this city right now that need help and are working every day. So we don't need to deny and delay and do this. We need to fast forward, get these people some immediate help right now. Thank you.
Okay. Donald Frazier.
I just want to clarify with the clerk, what I have you all is having,
Substitution.
you have the substituted motion, but I'm going to start from the end and go backwards.
Okay.
The last motion that's on the floor, the amendment, is to authorize the emergency aid out of the $400,000 to remaining flood victims, add tornado victims in, and add up to $97,000 to reimburse these organizations that were given with itemized expenses. Is the last motion that I have on the floor.
And they have to turn in their receipts in less than 30 days.
Okay.
Point of order, we're not adding 97,000. It's just, the money's still coming out of the original.
The reimbursement is up
400,000.
to $97,000.
Up to 97, we're not adding any money.
Right. And then the original motion, or the original substitute motion, is the emergency aid to the tornado victims, remaining flood victims, out of the $400,000. That is the original substitute.
That was
motion.
Linda, that was Linda's motion.
Yes, that's the original, that's the one you started with.
And the one you just talked about was his.
Was Mr. Lynn. And is that what you have, Mr.
That's
Clerk?
correct.
Okay.
Okay, so we got a substitute and amendment, an amended one.
Well, it's all friendly, it's just
I'm on the
a
board.
Commissioner Epperson.
I don't think the amendment is germane to the main motion. The main motion was put down as an emergency ordinance to take care of the victims with the tragic situations that happened on December the 27th. That cannot go, it cannot be amended for that. That's not an emergency situation to add that $97,000 for back pay for back expenditures that those people want.
You're right.
That's what I said earlier.
You're right.
Well, I'm trying to, I'm trying
to get it.
I have the floor, Mr.
You helping me?
Ms. Bryant, what amounts of money do we have in the 2016 budget for the Northwest Louisiana Food Bank, if any? Do we have any? Do we have an expenditure for them in 2016?
Yes, sir, 100,000.
Okay, 100,000. That'll leave you 3,000 in case something come up. They can request that yesterday, am I correct? If they fill all their papers out. So therefore, it's not going to be anything that's going to hurt them. The amendment is not germane to the main motion, which is an emergency motion to deal with a specific emergency designated expenditure. And that motion is null and void.
Commissioner Dominic, you spoke on this yet?
I think that what Commissioner Epperson said is true and correct.
That's what I said too.
Yeah, but I think you just did a little bit better. Maybe you should step in my shoes and be the lawyer, because I think you said
I've been asked that before.
I know you told me about it, about that situation.
Wait, with law school one of them is a judge now.
But, I mean, what he's saying is truly correct. This is not a emergency, and that's what the original motion for us to hear this today and vote on this today was for an emergency situation to deal with the tornadoes. I am completely fine and agreeable with the first motion that Commissioner Johnson made, but I am not agreeable with the second one. I think you're, in no disrespect to Ms. Merrick, but these $96,000 what I'm hearing is we're fixing to open the floodgates, and we're going to have to fund everybody and increase everybody's budget, and we're just fixing to be broke if we keep going like this. So I'm voting no on this substitute motion. I'll vote yes on the first.
All right, Commissioner Cox and Lynn, I think both of y'all talked twice.
Yeah, if you don't mind, I was adding this up, and normally we don't pay, you were saying no labor, but I added up 9144 labor cost. That was in I'm looking at it right here. Employee labor, 1,300. Employee labor, 1,500. Employee payroll expenses, 6,039. Then you got vehicle maintenance. I mean,
That's just
I would make and this is just from my understanding, because I would do anything for the food bank. I have and gone above and beyond. But let's do this right. I would encourage Mr. Lynn to go ahead and pull this, and let's do it the right way and have the new commission look at this. And I understand what Mr. Williams is saying. You know, the disasters happened, let's help them. We did. We stood up to the plate and we helped the flood victims. We're standing up and we're helping the trailer park victims. This is something that needs to have some type of guideline on it to make sure it's done right the first time. If not, you'll have some dude named Elliot Stonecipher asking us, why do we do this? So let's do it right. Let's do it right the first time. Let's do it right the first time. And I would ask that Mr. Lynn go ahead and pull this and do it right. Thank you.
I agree with Mr. Cox and I agree with Mr. Epperson, and forget about where all it's going or what's going to happen. This was introduced Monday, short of the public notice law, under an emergency situation. So the public didn't have time to vet it. It takes a majority to put it on. You know, we put it on, enlarged the agenda, expanded ballot, and now they've had since Monday to digest that. Whoever in the public pays attention to this, and now you're amending something that never really was able to get vetted properly. I think this really skirts the sunshine laws. It's a razor's edge. I think the amendment should be pulled. It better be safe than sorry. It can be dealt with in 2 weeks by whoever's here. But you know, you hear the community cry out all the time about transparency. Well, it's this kind of stuff. Nobody knows what we're doing here today. Just come out of the blue. I didn't know about it till I got here. All of a sudden, boom, you see this and you go, you know, if I'd have known that, I'd have never supported till I had on the agenda Monday. And I think I caution you in the future that when you bring up something and enlarge the agenda and expand it without proper notice, really, it ought to be very important. It ought to be exactly what you end up voting on should be exactly what you approved when you enlarge the agenda originally. If not, I think it's being disingenuous and intellectually dishonest, and it just smells bad. Thank you.
Mr. Lynn.
I'd like to ask Martha Merrick to explain the way that the schedule is written.
That's over.
Mr.
President, you need to rule.
Well, and nobody else on the board. So now, since there's no one else on the board, we'll vote on the amended motion
Mr. President, you had a point of order that the amended motion was not germane to the main motion.
That's left up to you.
Make a rule.
Okay.
You got the rule on it.
Okay.
Just declare it invalid.
Invalid. Now, we'll go to the substitute motion, which is the emergency ordinance. Let's vote.
It's yours. The original.
Yes.
The original one.
The original one.
What is it?
The original one is
Tornado victims.
tornado victims.
Right.
That passes 11 to 1.
I'm going to be concerned.
Next, we need to ratify the work session minutes for January the 4th.
Moved by Commissioner Ingles Epperson, second by Commissioner Lynn. Anyone that wishes to speak, let's vote. Epperson needs to vote. That passes 12-0.
Next, we move to resolutions. Resolution number 1 of 2016. Amendment resolution giving written notice of regularly scheduled meetings.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Dominique, second by Commissioner Lynn. Anyone that wishes to speak, let's vote. Bowman. Thibodeau.
Learn something.
Y'all wake up over there.
From Commissioner
That
Thibodeau.
passes 12-0.
Resolution number 2 of 2016, approve holding election fire district number 4.
Move to approve.
Move to approve.
Moved by Commissioner Smith, second by Bowman. See no one that wishes to speak, let's vote. That passes 12-0.
Resolution number 3 of 2016, approving the proposed 2016 budget of North Louisiana Criminalistic Laboratory Commission.
Moved by the chair.
Second.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Carter. Board.
Somebody else speak.
I'm on the board.
Commissioner Thibodeau.
Yeah, before I leave, I want to have my final and Globo.
Go ahead.
Here you go. Resolution.
Could I have a point on that? The criminal, this lab, is that the new facility being built on Linwood? Are they moving to that now?
Yeah, down from LSU across from the graveyard.
In their budget.
Got the graveyard right across the street.
Okay, Commissioner Thibodeau, you go in Globo.
Globo, resolution number 4.
3 and 4? All right, seconded by Commissioner Evans. All right, let's vote.
My tips.
That passes 12-0.
We have no old business. We move to new business. Confirmation of Ms. Joyce Bowman as a member of the Caddo Parish Commission Wall of Distinguished Service.
Okay.
So moved.
Moved by Chair.
Second by everybody.
The courthouse, so they walk to the middle, the touches on the
Courthouse? Okay.
We vote?
Wilson.
Hold on. And then, that's a national organization. No. That's
10 years.
Oh. Come down here. In the courthouse, there is a distinguished wall of service, and presently on there is the Honorable Percy D. Wilson. Made a motion a couple months ago to add Joyce Bowman. Joyce, former Caddo Parish Commissioner, and a champion for the people in Caddo Parish District 5, and also City of Shreveport District G. Commissioner Bowman was a public servant who was known as a fearless, compassionate fighter for those that she represented and felt underrepresented within the City of Shreveport and the Parish of Caddo. Commissioner Bowman public service includes 11 years on the Caddo Parish Commission, where she also served as the first female president. She also served 3 years on the Shreveport City Council, where she also served as chairman of the City Council. Commissioner Bowman had a special calling to serve the public, and she will always give you the sense that everybody that she met was a friend and that no one was a stranger. Commissioner Bowman has 2 sons that have followed in her footsteps. The first one is Commissioner Gerald Bowman, and the other one is Jerry Bowman, which is now a Shreveport City Council person. Those of all who read these words, let it be known that the legacy of Commissioner Joyce Bowman will live forever.
Amen.
When I first became a commissioner, I sat right beside Commissioner Bowman. And Commissioner Bowman would always give me some food for thoughts at every meeting. One of the first meetings I had, she said, well, make sure that you read the information that you're getting on Monday so that you be prepared on Thursday. And so I said, well, I plan to do that. But she said, make sure you do that because I want you to be sharp. So I took her advice and I read those Monday work sessions agendas so I was prepared for Thursday. When she became ill, my mother was ill at the same time. And both of them succumbed to cancer. And Joyce would ask me about my mother more than she would be basically cared about her own health and welfare. And, you know, I really appreciate that. My mother was one of her constituents over in Queensboro. I've known the Bowman family for many years. I grew up in Moortown and in Queensboro. Their family, pretty much I've seen them almost every week. Went to school with Jerry. Jerry Senior used to cut my hair growing up. So
Don't have to worry about that now, do we?
No, I cut my own now. So, I mean, the family is well known to me. The last thing that she told me, though, she said, all is well. And I remember that day in and day out. You know, when things get tough for me, I always remember what she said to me that time, that all is well. So today, we honor her by putting her on the wall in Caddo Parish Courthouse on Texas Street, and that all the citizens of Caddo Parish and anyone who will visit the courthouse will see her, that she is on the wall of this distinguished service. Get a update that this will be up on the wall by Tuesday. There's a plaque that goes along and a frame that this picture will go into. So this would be right on the side of the Honorable Hershey D. Wilson as well.
Can you say something? I'm going to closing remark about leaving. You go ahead.
So David next.
There's other commissioners on the board. Commissioner Williams.
I'll have another new business.
Not this?
Yep. I'm just, let me just, I mean, it's hard to find words to identify Miss Bowman. Her mother surely was a champion for justice, and she never wanted to back down and stood up for what she believed in. You know, we live in a time where they're trying to make all the changes and gains we made in the 21st century. They're trying to go counterclockwise in America, as you see how the justice has been challenged throughout this country. And I'm proud to see that her sons followed in her footsteps. You know, it's easy to sit on the sideline and talk about what you do when you get in office. As soon as you get in office, you change everything you thought about doing. It's a delusion, man. That you want to do all the things that you pledge and promise to the people that elected you, but it's difficult when you work with a group of citizens, different minds and different walks of life and different parties. But we all can agree on some things together. Economic development, social justice for people is something we all can agree on. So I just want to commend and thank God I had an opportunity to sit with Miss Bowman. As I said, she spoke her mind. I mean, I always agreed with her, but she spoke what she believed in. And she should believe in juvenile justice. Crime fighting was one of her major marks, especially in our area and the community. And I think our community will be well served by the two young men that stepped in her place. Well represented, with a fine family, had a family business. Her father, Mr. Bowman, cut hair for many years and still cutting hair in the Moortown community. And she's not just a hero. She reminds me of Ms. Eddie Jones. She's a legend. They will always be remembered. Thank you for lending your mother to us all, Jerry and your family. And, we commend you. Hope you continue her legacy as well.
Mr. Cox.
When I was first elected, your mother, Ms. Bowman, worked with me on a couple of committees. And she, along with Carl and a few others that were here at the time, but specifically Carl and Ms. Bowman, would give me pointers. And when we did the animal ordinances for the first time, I think it was back in 2006, I said, well, we're going to have to take this to the city. You know, I've never done that before. And she said, well, don't worry, baby, I'll be right behind you. She was there. Got two good young men to take her place. She's proud of you. And being on that wall tells me, or tells everybody in Caddo Parish, that lady did her job. So rightfully, to be in that spot, we love her, we miss her, and that's about it.
Mr. Epperson.
I hadn't looked at the Wall of Fame recently, but I'm hoping it looks good over there, right? It's some place of distinguishment.
Yes, sir, at the main entrance.
Nice. What about your frames? Your frames are going to be consistent and look good?
Yes, sir, only the best. Only the best.
Okay. And I just want to say I had an opportunity I knew Brother Jerry before I knew Joyce. He and I went to school together, Union High Eagles. Even though they be a Bethune, he turned out to be what Bethune? Cougars. Yeah, he ended up a Cougar. The Eagles still fly higher. But I want us to remember him too. I think Jerry say, but Jerry is I think he's ill. Isn't he in the hospital?
Yes, sir.
So let's call him and let's not forget about Brother Jerry also. And when Joyce got on the commission, I was just coming off. And you know, we had some good time, we had some rough time. We used to have some knockdown drag-outs, because you all know me and my attitude.
we'd have some knockdown drag-outs, but it never was out in the public. We get on that phone, or we come face to face, but 99% of the time, everything worked out for the best. She was at the table when we started negotiating for the Veterans Cemetery. She was at the dedication, at the groundbreaking. She was on then, I was off. And I had an enjoyable time serving with her. And my mom is a cancer survivor, 12 years. So my mom always asks about her, just like she asks about Bro Jerry every day when she's on her post up at Super One, when she hadn't been seeing him. But let's make sure that wall reflects the individuals that go up there.
Amen.
Thank you.
Commissioner Cawthorn.
It is rare in public office that people who are entrenched in political offices make the right decision for the right reasons. My first foray into running for public office after I moved back here to Shreveport, Ms. Bowman was the first elected official to support me publicly. And she told me she supported me publicly because it looked like I had prepared myself and she think I would do a great job. And that she wasn't afraid to say that she was with me. You could use me publicly, you want me to go on the radio, I'll do that for you. And in seeing that and in hearing that, I knew that was a screen of value in this lady. And also, to add on to that, not only did she support me, her husband and I knocked doors in Moortown, sun up, sundown. So I just want to publicly thank her for being a trailblazer, for being the kind of person I am. You know, when you see something you believe in, you go out there and get it, and you don't stop until you make it successful. So she deserves to be on that wall, and she's left good seed, good legacy behind her in the person of Gerald and Jerry, and may her legacy live on in the hearts and minds of the people of Caddo Parish and the city of Shreveport.
Commissioner Watts.
Oh, wow, thank you. The Bowmans are like family to me. I think, well, I know the very first time I got to know Miss Joyce on the other side was when my father was diagnosed terminally ill with cancer, and she was still an employee at that time at Highland Hospital. And to say the compassion that she's shown was something that I had never received from an individual who didn't share the same bloodline with me. She gave it her all to make sure that we were comfortable in every way. She was there, not just physically, but emotionally. I'll never forget that. And it serves me great pleasure to come behind her, knowing her legacy and her compassion that she had for the communities, for her children, how much she loved you guys more than anything else. And she always wanted you to know that above all that she did, that you all would never know how much she really loved you. So I am honored to be on this panel around this horseshoe today because of the groundwork that she did. She laid it so that women like me could walk in those same footsteps. Thank you.
Once we do vote on this, there will be a presentation for all the outgoing commissioners. So I'm not going to join right after this vote, okay? Let's vote.
I can still wear that tuxedo.
Better hurry up.
You know what that means. I can still button it up.
11-0.
What did you say about this?
Getting married.
It's time.
Oh, God.
Is it getting tight, Ken?
That was funny.
Give me my parochial retired. Oh, yes. We made a scene on the parochial retired here. That's what I want. What do you say, Esky Day?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, good afternoon, Commissioners. This is only befitting on our part to extend our appreciation for those commissioners who are transitioning, will no longer be with us, but have done a great job in their stead. So I certainly appreciate the administration does, and entire Caddo Parish family appreciate all the work that was done by all the commissioners who will no longer be here after today. But certainly, we don't want you to walk out the door without us extending our heartfelt appreciation for the work that you had done, because you sacrificed a lot. It wasn't about the money. It was about the commitment of your service to the people you represent. And certainly, we appreciate that, and we don't take lightly or for granted all the work that you have done to make us a better commission. And without you, and without the value you bring to this process, we wouldn't be the commission that we are today. So thank you for working tirelessly, rolling up your sleeve, a lot of blood, sweat, and sometimes tears were put into this process to advance the cause of the people of Caddo Parish, and you've done a great job, and job well done. So at this time, we want to recognize you individually, and the first person I have here is Commissioner Mike Thibodeau. We have a plaque, sir, for you. While Commissioner, his wife is here too, his lovely wife is here today. Thank you so much, Ms. Thibodeau, for being here. And the description on the plaque reads as follows. Commissioner Mike Thibodeau, May January the 8th to January 2016. In recognition for your exceptional service through the Caddo Parish Commission as Commissioner from District 9, you distinguished yourself as an outstanding statesman, having served as the President of the Caddo Parish Commission in 2012. Your dedication to the citizens of Caddo Parish reflect favorably on you and the entire Caddo Parish community. Congratulations to you, and a job well done, sir. Y'all will get together, let me get one.
Good picture.
Parting words?
Yeah, I do have a couple.
You got to speak with that.
I'm not going to worry about the clock today. I just want to first of all thank my wife for the 8 years that I've served on the commission and the 16 I served on the school board. She's always pounded the sidewalks with me and knocked on doors and got me a lot more yard signs and votes than I ever got for myself. I want to thank the voters of District 9 for being so smart. And I hope that I've served them with consistency, with honor, and that they were seldom embarrassed by me, I would hope. I want to say that because I was involved with the school board for so long and I know a little bit about the city, that the parish administration and the operations people in this parish are so far above and beyond in quality that it's unbelievable. They're head and shoulders above any other government body that I've ever been a part of. I told Woody this earlier, that the thing that I liked about him more than anything else was the fact that he did allow his employees to try to better themselves. I know I was always yelling about how much travel was, and sometimes that travel is necessary for the employees to get different certifications. And I like the fact that he has allowed employees to come from anywhere that they were to rise as high as they wanted, and that many of our promotions have been from within, and that's the way I think it should be. Operations, every director that I've dealt with has been outstanding. But you know, the people that really make the difference are the employees of this parish, the people that are out there doing the work every day, the ones that are seen by the taxpayers. Those are the people that make us look good. Unfortunately, when we do something wrong or perceived as being wrong, the media hits us up, and you know, you read about it in the paper, hear it on TV. But our employees do just an outstanding job every day. I cannot think of any time that I ever called on any of them for a legitimate reason that they didn't just jump on it and do an excellent job. I've got to say that there's in every organization that I've ever been a part of, there's always somebody that sticks out that meant something to you. There's been 3 people in this parish that have stuck out to me. The first one was Joyce Bowman. To be able to meet her, and the thing was so beautiful about Joyce, she didn't care if you were male, female, black, white, green, yellow. She voted every time based on what she thought was right, and she could care less what anybody else thought. and me, that's what public service is supposed to be about. So meeting Joyce Bowman was probably the highlight of my 8 years on the commission. Another person that's influenced me quite a bit because of her courage that she showed during some serious illness that she has was Michelle. I don't really know Michelle very well, but to see a young person do what she did is very impressive, and everybody knows what I'm talking about. She has got tunnel vision, and I really admire her quite a bit, and I hope that one day when Todd walks away, that'll be the person that the commission chooses to take over. If she wants it, she may not want it. And finally, the last person that's influenced me is Randy Lucky. And the reason that he's been so interesting to me is after 8 years, I still don't know what his job is.
By design.
No, I tell you, in every organization, there's somebody that you got to have that makes you feel welcome, and that's Randy. Yeah. Anybody that comes in this room for our meetings, or if we were having committee meetings, people coming from out of town, Randy was always there, willing to take them out, tip a couple with them. It always made them feel like they were welcome and that he's known them all his life. And so those are the 3 people that have really influenced me here on the commission. And I just, you know, every time an old guy leaves, he's got to say something to the youngsters. We've got some very talented young people. Glenn, I consider you young.
He's younger than me, I found out.
Look at kid.
Oh, God. But I want to say to Stormy and to Gerald, especially, and to Lynn, but more or less these 2 folks, because they are the youngest, I believe. Do what Joyce Bowman did. Be brave, show some courage, and make your own decisions, and vote for what is best for the people that you serve. And if you do that, then when you leave, you'll feel good about what you've accomplished. And so that's just my message. So the rest of you that I served with are David and John, Michael. Michael, you really you got a great heart. You really do. And I hope everything works out for you. And John and David, I hope I look for you to jump into doing something else that's going to be of service to the community. And I think that's all it's leaving, isn't it?
Out of sight, out of mind.
I will say one thing about Lyndon. You know, and when you end up serving 12 years on the commission, please take advantage and try to become president one time, because you don't really realize what goes on in the parish till you serve a year as the president.
Amen.
You get a totally different look, and you really get to know the people that work here a lot better.
That's right.
So if you haven't been president and you have that opportunity, I would ask you to take advantage of it.
Commissioner Thibodeau, if you could stay at the mic, the roast is about to begin. Commissioner Cox.
I'm not going to roast you. I don't have enough charcoal to do that. when I first met you was during the mayor's election, and you were helping a candidate out, and then you were on the school board and finally made it here. I can honestly say to everybody in your district, you handled their business and the parish business like no other. I mean, if you had a question, it's because you have 5 questions behind that question to get an answer on any issue. I learned a lot from you, and I appreciate that. I don't know where I'm going, but wherever you go, I know you'll be successful. And love those kids and your family, and just enjoy yourself. And I appreciate working with you. Thank you.
Mr. Thibodeau, Commissioner Thibodeau still. You have always been honest, not with me, with everybody. And when you say something, it's your word, and I appreciate that. And if the facts change, you always are willing to reevaluate based on the facts. And I definitely appreciate you being my Republican rock to the right, of which I could go as far left as I wanted to and vote however I believe to be the truth. But you're always a base, and I will continue to ask for your advice, and thank you for all the advice that you've given me over these last 8 years.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Cawthorn.
Commissioner Thibodeau, obviously I have known you long, but in my short observation of you, I know that you were consistent, a man of thrift and frugalness. And in keeping with that,
I've been called tight before.
And in keeping with that, I'm proposing to the commission that you reimburse us for that plaque.
Send me a bill. Just wait for the check.
Glenn, that's great. That's good. That's good.
Commissioner Bowman is next on the
Mr.
list.
Smith.
Oh, Commissioner Smith.
One thing about Mike, you can always get a straight answer. You just ask him the question, and he doesn't beat around the bush. He tells you exactly the way he feels, and usually it's always right. Mike, it's been a joy to work with you. Matter of fact, I'm going to miss you a lot.
Well, you too.
Thank you, buddy.
See.
Commissioner Bowman.
I'll get to me. Oh man, I said I wasn't gonna cry today for real. I messed it up altogether. I just want to, surprisingly, Commissioner Thibodeau, you have been someone that I've actually learned probably the most from, and it wasn't intentional. It's like when it comes from consistency and just being honest and transparent, even if we didn't agree on something, you didn't ever try and sway me. You had your facts, and I come back with mine. Say, hey, what about this? Well, you know, and being the mathematician educated that you are, you say, now check this out. You divide this and you get that. It doesn't make any sense. And stuff like that really made a lot of sense, and I really appreciate it. If I never told you, I appreciate you, but I love you very much, and I will miss you.
Well, thank you. Thanks all of you.
Hang on.
Hold on, there's still one. Commissioner Stormy J. Watts.
Thank you, Commissioner Lynn. Commissioner Thibodeau, wow, what a short time. First of all, I want to say thank you for giving me a chance when I first came. You were one of the first people that I seen the green light go up on, and I want to say thank you for that. You were also one of the first people to sit me down and talk to me, and I appreciate that. I heard what you said today, and I appreciate that, and I will take it with me. Thank you for what you have done, sharing your wisdom with us, laughing with us, and correcting us. We're going to truly miss you. I told you before all of this even started that I wanted to continue this journey with you just a little while longer, but I know you're just a phone call away, and so am I.
Thank you.
Commissioner Williams.
I get to talk about this guy? Honestly? In front of his wife? Let me just say, separating our philosophical and analytical difference that we have as a Christian, God told me to love you in spite of any difference that we may have. One thing I respect about a real man or woman, they are a man or woman of their word. When you give someone your word, you're going to vote, you vote. Not like some elected officials, they tell you one thing and get to the floor and stab you in the back. So we hope that we learn some valuable lesson on political integrity, character. Let your word mean something. Let your handshake mean something in the 21st century. And if the facts present itself at that time, make an intelligent, wise decision to change your mind and tell the people why. Nothing wrong with that. There's no more of that. So Mike, I learned, you gave me a book, What Happened to the Black Family. Read that book, and you wrote in that book. And I do have my heart in the right place and have compassion for people. And I always come out like it should. But sometimes I just make a knee-jerk reaction and worry about cleaning it up later. That'll always work. But now I learned to TTT. Take time to think and think things through before you talk. You can take that. Y'all write that down.
I see that. Is that copyrighted?
But I've learned to think it through before you open your mouth. So being an educator and being a dean up here, I'm grateful to have the opportunity to debate you. You pushed me to the limit. And thank you for making me better, making me a better person to serve God, not man. I'm grateful for it. Hopefully your journey in this life, from this commission life, is not over. You got grandkids. You spend more time with them. And you've been a great public servant. And you've been a great Republican public servant. You learn to work with Democrats, especially when it comes to business. When it comes to business, social issues is what we mostly disagreed on. But when it comes to making money and economic development, we voted pretty much down the same 100%. So I'm grateful for having the opportunity to get to know you as a man. And that's what I respect most about you, more than the elected official, but as a man. And I wish you continued success as you ride off on your pony horse to your new adventure and to your new life. And your wife, you got him at home now. I don't know what you're going to do.
She's like, I don't know.
Commissioner Epperson.
Thank you.
Mike, to you and Mrs. Thibodeau, I wish you all the best. God continue to bless you and your entire family. Miss Thibodeau, make him spend some of that old money he been sitting on. Make him spend some of that money. Mike, I'm going to invite you to lunch, my treat.
What?
And I'll contact you just as soon as McDonald's run that 99-cent special.
That's a good roast.
Then y'all get a senior citizen discount.
Yeah.
40-cent coffee, right?
Congratulations.
I'll take it.
Commissioner Thibodeau, that's everybody. I do ask that you pass on your Englobo skills to incoming Commissioner-elect Atkins and.
Well, actually, I was going to leave it to Doug, but I see he's not here.
Doug had a ball game.
Yeah. Thank you.
Lawyering.
Thank you.
And clap it, please.
Next commissioner is Commissioner Michael Williams. In recognition of your exceptional service to Caddo Parish Commission as the commissioner from District 3, you distinguish yourself as an outstanding statesman, having served as a parliamentarian of the Caddo Parish Commission in 2015. Your dedication to the citizens of Caddo Parish reflects favorably on you and the entire Caddo Parish community. Congratulations on a job well done. I do want to say to Mike is, as I give you that award, is I think you are the most passionate commissioner that I have served with. I mean, I'm talking about passion over the top. Sometimes we have to say, calm down, Mike, calm down. But, your heart definitely is in the right place. You have shown the citizens of District 3 and Caddo Parish that you care about them. You have gone beyond sometimes. When we had the flood this summer, you was right there with me in District 2 and District 3. And I just want to say it's been an honor to serve with you, and I wish you best of luck.
Glory be to God.
All right.
to our chairman, to our vice chairman, to all my colleagues I had the opportunity to serve with on this body. First, I want to thank God, and you know, serving in office is an honor and a privilege to serve in public life, because they could have chose anybody. We're no smarter than nobody, and we're just fortunate to be blessed to be elected. Don't make us no better than nobody. I'd like to thank my family, my mother, and the late Ms. Eddie Jones for seeing that I could step in her place and serve in public life. Had it not been for Ms. Eddie Jones, I wouldn't be here. And also your mother, Ms. Cawthon, Lynn, back in the Lakeside Allendale community. I thank my mother, my family who supported me throughout the year. I thank the late Hersey Wilson and Donna H. and Ken Epperson, who chaperoned me as a young man and mentored me to be the man that I am today. Embodied me as a greeting of so many people that made me the man that I am today. And I'm so grateful for it. But I would say it's a bittersweet exiting this way, the way I left. I think it's a shame and a disgrace, the way I had to leave. Unfortunate. Hopefully, down the road, that the truth will set you free. As I see the future of public life for Caddo Parish and see the young elected officials, I hope and pray that you don't compromise your values for standing up for what is right. And make sure that this parish and this city be a city of inclusion, especially social inclusion, economic inclusion. Because embodying of all of us is an opportunity to help those at the bottom that have no voice of their own, and when they elect us, we become their voice for them. So hopefully, let's not forget and compromise while we're up here. We celebrate next month is Black History Month and Dr. King's birthday on the 17th. That was a movement in America back then. What is the movement now for this country? It appears to me that we're trying to turn back the clock of time. We have the have and the have-nots. We have us against them. We have 2% of the people that are making all the money, and 98% of us are poor and middle class and trying to make it. People wake up every day just for the American dream, have the opportunity to live and play, feel safe, to get a job, go home and take care of their family, go to church on Sunday, and start back on Monday. That's what it's all about. It's not about coming up here posturing for the media, looking cute, looking pretty, and worry about what people think about you. At the end of the day, when you get unelected, they'll show you how much they think about you. Reason why they support you now because you have a vote, and you have power, and you're over budget. Just remember that. All right? I have opportunity to serve with Commissioner Escaday. I was a young president. I think I was about 35 years old. John was my vice president. I came back with the same enthusiasm and passion that I had 10 or 15 years ago. I hope that we can match the success and duplicate what we had the last 4 years. This has been one of the greatest public bodies in America. In America, this Caddo Commission right here, we're well decorated and well represented throughout America, throughout the state level, throughout the federal level, on all these boards. This body here, these group of men and women, this administration is one of the best administrations in America. Look at our rating, our Moody bond rating. It's higher than the federal government. It's higher than the state and definitely higher than the city in Shreveport. So that means we've been good stewards of the taxpayers' money. All this stuff been written about us, this negative publicity, is not true. Let me say, I love each and every one of you. I've learned something from everybody up here. We may not always agree how we get there, but we got there and we finished the course. We made this commission what it is today. We have a surplus in every last one of our fund balance. We're one of the best commissions, best juvenile justice systems in America as well. I'm proud of that. I'm proud of everything we've done. We got the best administrator. He's a PhD, Pride, Hustle, and Drive. He got a lot of it.
Wait a minute, let me write that down. Hold on. Pride, hustle, and drive.
And pray hard daily. That's the one you need to keep, pray hard daily.
All right.
But Ken, I can't say enough how you have really chaperoned me in my young career. All the ones that are gone to be with the Lord, Hersey and H and others are gone. And Ms. Eddie Jones, you were the last one holding the bloodstained banner down here. I want to thank you publicly for everything you meant to me in my life. I never got too big to know why I can't respect you as one of the deans of this body, the city, the parish, and the school board. You're the dean. You're one of the oldest serving members in our community, and I want to respect you and thank you for that. I look forward to these new, enthusiastic millennium, next generation leaders continue the legacy that people died and paid for us to have the rights that we have. Don't forget that as you go to bed at night. There's somebody hungry. There's somebody on the bridge. There's somebody need a job. There's somebody with no health care. There's somebody that need help. We can't be everything to everybody because we're not a bank. We're government. But with God at the top, government doing their job, the community doing what it's supposed to do, we can become great. And we have become great, regardless of what people have said. I want to thank all the progress we have made. Come progress, come a movement. Not a moment, but a movement. If you want progress, you got to have a movement. So keep the movement going to making this city a better place where people could come here. Don't let people have to catch a train, drive their car to catch a train in Marshall, drive their car to catch a plane in Dallas and Texas. Let's bring transportation infrastructure here. Sure. We want world-class Fortune 5 companies come here. We got to increase our education and make it better. But always got to have transportation where people can get in and get assets out here. Continue that I-49 where we can see it before I die. See I-49 connect and bring economic opportunity to Caddo and Shreveport. That Metropolitan Planning Commission new program that we're bringing here. So I'm excited about the future of Caddo and Shreveport. I'll be on the sideline watching. I'll still be campaigning for souls in the community. But I think God called me to do something else. I'll be campaigning for souls, pointing people to the church.
Name of Jesus.
And you can always do that. You never get too tired to do that. Amen. Because I serve an awesome God.
Yes, indeed.
In spite of what's going on, I feel good about my future. Come on. I feel great about what's going on. If Dr. King was still here today and all the civil rights leaders were still today, they'll say keep on marching and keep on pushing the American dream. I'm going to keep on pushing. Wherever I stand, wherever I sit, I'm going to keep on pushing, John. I'm going to keep on pushing, Matthew. I'm going to keep on pushing, Mr. Cox, for us to make us better. To make Shreveport one of the best places in America to live and raise a family and go to church and go to school and get a job. This is a great city we live in spite of what people say about us. In spite of adversity we done had, this is a great place to live and grow and prosper in spite of. I'm looking for, I thank God that I had a part to play in that journey, in that role. So God be the glory. I'm grateful and I look forward to still working with you guys. I'm a businessman. I've been getting calls from New York and other places about a lot of projects, about movements. But I first must take care of this first business before I can move forward. So keep me in your prayers. Amen. Please keep me in your prayers. And I appreciate all your support and your love. Dave, thank you. John, thank you for your economic mind. You have a brilliant mind. I hope you go and be big and hire me when you get there.
Big bird.
Thank you, Commissioner Mike Thibodeau, for your wisdom about business and how to conduct yourself. And I can't say enough for that. And thank you, Dr. Wilson. All the times I sat in that bench. Do I owe you now? Do I need to pay you now? Commissioner Johnson, thank you for being a fine president. Young man came on the scene, hit the ground running. You know, somebody wanted me to have that seat, and I recommended Brother Johnson.
Come on.
I said, no, Commissioner Johnson would make a great commissioner, and I was right.
Yes.
And I'm glad that Commissioner Cawthorn, keep the BTW alma mater moving. A very wise, bright, brilliant man right there. Oh, yeah. Got a good business mind on him. And thank you, Lucky, for all the laughs in your office and being that breath of fresh air. When you see Lucky, you can't help but to laugh. Henri, Parks and Recreation, Building Grounds, and the people that makes all it look good, like Mike said, are the people that work in the trenches, that don't get the media, don't talk to them. But they're the one that makes us look good. That go out in the highways and the byways and the streets and drainage, it makes us look good. And thank you, Dean Jim Smith, the business mind. I'll be calling on you. I'm not going anywhere again. God bless you. God keep you. That is my prayer.
Hold up, Mike. You know better. You gotta be roasted. You know better. You must be out your mind walking away.
On the clock.
Okay, Mike, you almost stole all my thunder. Anyway, what you all don't know about Mike is, let's see, we go back to the 90s. Mike was a firefighter. Did you know that Mike got into a chemical that was life-threatening, fighting fires? I think it was at LSU Medical Center.
PCBs.
PCBs. You know those are carcinogens, cancer-causing agents. Mike and I fought the drug dealers on the corner of West 87th Street and St. Vincent and Shady Grove. Spike the drug dog. Mike was in my campaign for mayor, where I finished 4th out of a field of 9. Some of you may know the park that's named after Doug Williams on Kennedy. On Henry Street, this young man had a promising career academically as well as athletically, killed by gang violence, random gang violence. We marched the streets. Mike and I brought a program back to Caddo Parish called Drop Your Guns. We had a truce between the Bloods and the Crips.
More time.
You hear me? The Bloods and the Crips. They stopped killing for over a month and met with us. We got a lot of threatening phone calls where they had to bug our telephone lines because we would call everything but a child of God because we were talking about guns. We got transportation for the needy in the housing projects, extending the bus services because we walked out there. The 2 twins that drowned in a drainage ditch in Lynbrook subdivision. We got fences put up there and awareness from the city to make sure those things are safe. So many things. And as I often say, I choose my own friends, make my own enemies, and pick my own fights. And Mike is my friend. And that's just a sample of what I know about Mike, because I'll be here probably another 20 or 30 minutes. Now, anything else, I don't know anything about it. That's the Mike I know. And brother, you still my friend. We know your mom well, and we're going to keep in touch.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to smoke some turkey legs and
Oh, yeah.
feed you.
Thank you. Commissioner Bowman?
Man, all right, I'm trying. You like an unsung hero for real. Like from talking even to Commissioner Everson, you don't get a lot of credit for the things you have done, and I'll never forget that. What I've learned from not only observing you but learning you personally is the fact that you're consistent as well. And if you're for somebody, you're for somebody, and nothing that anybody can say will change that. And even when I was appointed, you were one person who spoke up for me when others didn't, you know, and that really meant a lot to me, and I've just watched, and it's a lot to learn from you, and you are a blessing, and I just know that beyond this, greater things are for you, and God does have greater things for you because He has some souls for you to win on, and it's just time to answer that calling, and I'll be there, and you will be in my prayers, because I know sincerely you've always been in them.
Thank you.
Good or bad, unconditionally, and I appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Commissioner Stormy Gage Watts?
Commish.
How you doing?
Thank you.
People.
Will. Yes, sir. Thank you for a short, amazing journey. Though I know I had already known you before I came this way. And the conversations that we had shared, and you always knew that I was a fighter just like you.
Yeah.
But here I've learned not to just deliver, but over-deliver.
That's right.
You do have the passion that Commissioner Johnson talked about, and it does take passion to lead, and the courage that you have to lead anything. You have to have a courageous attitude in the way that you do. So thank you for the path that you have laid for young people like myself and Gerald, and we will keep the torch lit. The job that you have enlisted for is one that I know a lot about, and the rewards for it are limitless. So you are in my prayers. May God be with you in all that you do. And thank you for all of the wonderful things that have been shared today around this horseshoe. You know, I always say that one bad light can dim a whole person's life. And they forget about all of the great things that you have done. So thank you for all the great things that you have done. And I promise you that one light that isn't shining won't make a difference at all.
Thank you. I still be getting my car washed at your spot.
Please do. Thank you.
Commissioner Williams, I'm proud to call you my friend, and I want to share with you when I was the most proud to call you my friend. I was working with Northwest Louisiana Behavioral Health, and I was counseling a very intelligent man that made a mistake at the age of 18. He was in his early 40s, he was free, and he was trying to clean up his record, and the expungement summit was in a month. And I was able to steer that man to my friend, Commissioner Michael Williams' dream that he brought forth. Yeah. And I've been there, and never in what could I have ever conceived that it would be the success that it is. And I promise you that it will continue from here on out. And I view that as a role for Caddo Parish and the Caddo Parish Commission to continue from this day forward. And it began with you, and it began with your ideas, and it began with your effort. And thank you very much for all of that. And thank you for the focus that you had on people that the light doesn't shine on them the way that it should. The disadvantaged businesses that deserve to have a opportunity to do work with Caddo Parish and work with contractors that come into Caddo Parish. And I appreciate every single time and every single meeting that any opportunity came forth to bring the attention to the people that are too often overlooked, and you never allowed that to happen. Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Cawthorn.
When you grew up in Lakeside Island there, you are a rare breed in and of itself. The challenges and the joys of growing up in that local community, attending Booker T. Washington High School, I'd like to see that you've embodied all of that. You brought this down to the commission. And it's, you know, I've even, and people in the local community, now y'all call him Michael Williams, they know your nickname?
Go ahead, Tap.
When they see Foots coming,
Get out of here.
See a young boy, young girl, see that he can come from Lakeside Island there, he can get elected to public office. Mike embodied that spirit, and he takes that spirit to the commission, keeps it in the community, he keeps it in his whatever business endeavors he's trying to do. So we're just prayerful and hopeful that you will keep that same spirit, that same encouragement in your next phase of public service. We wish you the best, and your prayers are with us.
Commissioner Cox.
Brother Mike.
Ruh-roh.
Foots. Foots. I'll never forget that. I'm going to change your name in my cell phone to Foots. You know, we started off on a rocky road, me and you. It was probably the first or second month that you were here. Matthew was here.
In between you.
You and Mike came into the back, huh?
You made a comment, and I made a comment back, and after the meeting was over, I said, you and I need to go to the back. And all of a sudden, I turned around, and I had Escadade, Thibodeau, and everybody walking behind me, saying, we know you're going to kick us, you know. But after that, after you get to know you, and find out that one, you're a top graduate from the Jesse Jackson School of Rhyme. PhD. It's nothing but
that
love.
Was good.
It's
PhD.
Nothing but love, baby. To get to know you and work with you over the years, and to know that people judge us, not only judge you, me, but everybody on this commission for decisions that we make for the betterment of this parish. I can honestly say some of the programs you've brought to us is top notch.
Good.
It's given people, like the expungement, like Matthew said, it's given people the opportunity to make a wrong or right and to keep on with their lives. people don't look back on what a person has done over their career. They look at what can we do at that particular moment and knock him down or knock her down. And we've all been there.
Yeah, Lord.
So I can honestly say that you are my friend. You know, I'll be more than happy to let you buy me lunch any day.
What a friend.
The McRib was on his way back.
Wherever you go, I know that you're going to do well because you've got that attitude, that drive, and you've got the ability to pick up anybody. You know,
Yeah.
and that's your talent, and it always will be. So, love you. Congratulations on the job well done, and we will be in touch.
Yeah, we will.
Thank you, sir.
This is being recorded, right? Copy of this.
Yeah.
All right.
Everything always
The
is.
meeting, one thing about me leaving, your meetings will be shorter.
Ain't clap for praise.
Mr. Williams, our clock will survive now.
Tough act to follow. Our next commissioner is Commissioner John Escaday.
Big Bird.
January 2008 to January 2016. A recognition for exceptional service to the Caddo Parish Commission as the Commissioner from District 8. Your dedication to the citizens of Caddo Parish reflects favorably on you and the entire Caddo Parish community. Congratulations and job well done, and he also served as president as well.
Yes.
Hey. John? I know you're going to speak, John. I'd like to say a word or two.
Sure. Go ahead.
Certainly, I've learned a lot from Commissioner yesterday, and I remember we all got off a little rocky start too, and so anyway, I did invite Commissioner yesterday to was it Barnes and Nobles, right? Of course we met, had coffee at Barnes and Noble, because I wanted to know what did he expect from me as the administrator, and I think John told me that. Well, here's how I view the administrator's role. Well, when things are going right, we get the credit.
That's right.
When things are going bad, you take the blame. I said, okay. Anyway, but over the course of time, John and I became very good friends. Even when we disagreed, we had moments of disagreement, but we never became disagreeable with each other. And we always, in my office, I remember the last time we had a disagreement over an issue, we didn't leave the room and we didn't shake hands at all. We hugged each other. Is that correct? It's true. So, and certainly that's very indicative of the relationship we had. And I respect John. He's very knowledgeable in the affairs of government. You can't touch him in his economic development. He has a lot of skills there as well. And actually, I love his kids because they're very good people. And I really appreciate them. And John, for the main time we play something together, we share a lot of good words together, and I appreciate that. And thank you for what you taught me and helping me become a better administrator. And thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. We'll still be friends.
Absolutely. Well, it's not a divorce or anything.
Wow.
I'll try to be brief because, hell, I want to get out of here too. We've come a long way. I think that if you read the few bloggers and drink the Kool-Aid, then you realize the sky's falling and everything's terrible around here. But if you know what we know, I think that 2000, let's say maybe 8 through 14, are probably some of the most productive and greatest times in the modern history of Caddo Parish as far as what we were able to accomplish. From our bond rating to economic initiatives to everything we did, getting our fund balances solid, to getting our reserve trust fund just, you know, off the chart, to being able to sit there like the state can't do every year or the federal government can't do any year. Most counties and parishes come budget time and say, oh, that's done now. What can we do? We don't have to worry about what we can't do. We never had to discuss, these are obligations to the taxpayers. We've got to cut something. It's never been there. And that was a collective effort. And we've done wonderful things, and I regret nothing. Not a single vote.
Amen.
And as I think somebody mentioned, you know, part of our success has been the employees of the parish, all 430-something. And they go unlooked, you know, the guy out there doing the roads and all that. But I tell you what, from the administration, department heads, it's through their leadership that these people are productive. If you have a bad leader, then your people are productive. And it's nice, building and grounds, they rock. You don't have to worry about it. Finance rocks. Public Works rocks. You know, the animal shelter is coming together. It's doing a great job. Juvenile justice, I mean, we've come so far. We were terrible. People writing articles about us. And now they want to know how you're doing it.
Yeah.
So all this goes unchecked because, as I mentioned when Tom Pace was here, the media don't care about anything good, it's just what's bad, because bad sells. And there's a handful of angry old people around here. For them, the world will never be right because nothing's ever good enough. Because all they want to do is complain. They don't have anything to offer. No suggestions, just complaints, complaints, complaints. And what peace they're going to know is in the next life. And I hope we're not too delayed getting there if that's what it takes. I hate that for the administration, Woody, the best word I can describe my friend Woody Wilson is integrity. I've never worked with a human being with more integrity than Woody, even when we disagreed. It says a lot. Great job, and I appreciate everything you've done. Todd, you were the smartest move we've made. I grew up, Ken and Michael, in the world of Jerry Spears, and we didn't know any better. He didn't know any better, and we thought that was as good as it was going to get. I think you've taken it to the next level. You've done a good job. People always wonder what Randy Lucky does. Well, I can tell you, Randy Lucky is the one that does and gets done what nobody else can or will be willing to do. He goes places where nobody would go. And you need somebody like that.
Yes.
Somebody that can get it done. Legal's always been there for us to keep us out of jail, even though I hate being told no so much. I appreciate everything that they've done. But I can tell you what, this whole parish and this administration would not function without their rock, and that is Erica Bryant. And she won't tell you that, but if you don't believe me, just ask me, I'll tell you again. We have done tremendous things. Mike, it's been my pleasure. Mike, as you know, I get into something real quick and make up my mind pretty fast. I'm a pretty quick studier. I like to think I am. But Mike always was able to turn that other page or two over, give me a little bit of pause before we ran and jumped off the cliff. And I appreciate that because even though I thought I'd covered all the angles, you know, leave it up to Thibodeau, and there's a couple more that I didn't consider. And I appreciate that. It was a big help because we took what I would think were good ideas and made them better. Baby Bird, Brother Bowman, you know, it's been my pleasure. I think you know how I felt about your mother, and I think you know how she felt about me. And you got a lot in her. And now it's time for the next step. You've been here long enough. It's time to lead, boy. Step up, young man. I don't mean boy, young man. It's time to step up and lead. You're capable. You need to do it.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Watts, it's been my pleasure. Don't know you that well, but you've got a good heart, and I've enjoyed every minute of it. Ken, you and I have chewed some dirt, man. And even though we butted heads, we got a lot of stuff done. We got some good stuff done. And what I admire most is it doesn't matter. It's kind of like me and Woody. Even when we disagreed, that issue passed, we're on to the next one where we had common ground. And you know, nobody works as hard, I think, at being commissioner as Ken Everson. You know.
Hand clap and praise.
Jim, I will miss your wide and sage counsel and our many lengthy conversations with me talking and you doing all the listening. Michael, I'm not going to go down the list, but you know, over the years we've got some really good stuff done together, you and I, and you know we have. Matthew, your perspective has been unique, and it's kept me balanced and off guard a lot, but I've enjoyed it, because you bring some ideas and thought process to me that I never would have taken, and it's been my pleasure to work with you. Lynn, you haven't been here that long, but you look good in that suit, brother. And David,
Behave.
I'm gonna behave. Well, what can I say, David? David's my friend. David's just, he's plain spoken, he doesn't mince words, and when he gets on something, he's very persistent, and I admire his passion, but anyway, he's also been able to give me some insight and a different perspective on a lot of things, because believe it or not, regardless of what public opinion may be, I didn't have it all figured out, and I've needed some help, and every one of you in this room has helped me be what I consider successful, and I've had a successful tenure. So for that, I want to thank you all, and I'll be around, and I hopefully not forgotten.
Yeah,
thank you.
Hold on. Commissioner Epperson.
John and I I think we hit this thing twice, didn't we?
Yes.
We started out and then we came back. But when I really got to know John was when I met his mom at his dad's funeral. That's when my outlook changed about John, because she told me everything it is to know about him. So my attitude from him changed from that day on. She tell me about it, to get over there to shaking and popping that pencil.
Popping the bill.
Yeah, long pencil. He had that pencil to tap it. But we had a nice, good talk, and I really enjoyed her, and we have accomplished a lot of good things throughout the tenure. And I certainly agree with you that 2008 to 2014 has been some of the finest years of this body. And I'm sure that we can continue to be here from this day forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Ken.
Commissioner Bowman.
All right. Okay. I'm not going to do it, Commissioner Epperson. I'm going to be good. All right. I really can't even say everything I would like to say, but I do know prior to me even coming here, you were a true friend to my mother, and she valued you as her friend. And Mrs. Escaday as well, and you on your own kept favor upon me, and even just like with Thibodeau, we didn't agree, you broke stuff down and you showed me things, and you were sincere and honest with it, and everything you've told me has always been that. And then the things that you told me that I didn't agree with came back around and seemed to make sense. And
just because I'm old.
Okay. And so I just want to thank you. It's really been a blessing to know you and to now be able to have worked with you. And this yet to come. I can't wait. I'm going to end this soon, because you already know. They call me Baby Bird because I got it from you. I call you Big Bird because when you do what you do, you don't even have to. Everything you've shown me, you didn't have to do it. And you took time on your own to be yourself, and you never looked at me just as what you call me, Baby Bird. You really respected my opinion, and you gave me a chance, and you always believed in me. And by you doing that, I also believed more in myself and became encouraged. So I just want to thank you.
I'm glad he didn't listen to you. He kind of convert you over. So.
Unofficial Republic.
What, libertarian?
Commissioner Williams, you can keep on rolling with it.
Well, I mean, what can you say about John? John is John. He got a great sense of humor. He can make you laugh even when you're down. And when something seems bad, he find a way to laugh at himself. So you can't say a lot. John has a brilliant mind about business. I hope he go back into the business community, explore a business opportunity, and utilize all the talent and skills and all the research you've done, and do something great for yourself. We've done a lot to help people, and at the end of the day, look where we at. So you have to sometimes take some time out to do something for yourself sometimes. So in the private sector, we can do that. Become entrepreneurs and become millionaires, and hopefully this body will work with us and give us the tax credit and tax break. Zoning come up here, don't turn your nose at us.
Can't do that.
But, John, I think you're going to do great in the private sector, man. So, you know, I don't know what the future may hold, but I think you still have something to offer public life, even in private life. So don't. The dream is not over. So hopefully, I wish you the best from this day forward.
Commissioner Cox?
When you think about John, and people have asked me about you and our meetings that they catch on TV, and they say he's very precise. They say he knows the issues before he talks, or he'll take whatever they talk about the horseshoe, and one person would say, and they'll go over to John, and they say, this is the one thing that people remember about you. Well, let me see.
Don't forget the rock.
I'm fat, so I can't rock that
my
good.
bad.
But everybody says when you do that to your glasses, and Katie barred the door, because they're going to get the John Escadade answer. And that's 99.9% the correct answer, because you studied everything from the charter to the ordinances, to the resolutions, to basically anything that's come before this board. You studied. When you first got here and our first budget came around, I didn't know nothing until I sat down with you and went over that budget. I mean, I had been there 4 years going through the budgets, and until I went through it with you, I had missed a lot. And you doing the way you have and teaching me along the way, I'll never forget it. So, thank you.
Thank you, David.
Commissioner Thibodeau?
Well, John, what you see is what you get, and I appreciate that about people in general. I don't have to guess what I'm going to get, and I really believe that the people in District 8 may very well be saying, uh-oh, we may have made a big boo-boo here.
You didn't say that about me.
Wait a minute, though.
What did I say?
That's classic.
Because you by far, other than Ken Kraft, no one else knows government better than you do. And especially the commission here, you have a tremendous recall. Either that or you have your pages really marked well in the charter and everything. But you're very, very knowledgeable. And I appreciate that someone is knowledgeable about what they're talking about. And I once told you that I really was hoping that we would serve again in this next term, although I decided not to run, and maybe District 8 made a mistake, I don't know. But I think there's some bigger and better things out there for you, and let's have lunch one day. You buy.
All right. Good. Thank you.
Commissioner Stormy Gage Watts?
Thank you, Commissioner Escadade. The pleasure has been all mine. Thank you for taking time to talk to me, to know that I had a mind outside of what I show up here sometimes. So I really appreciate that, for you challenging me and my brain. And I can see us working outside of this horseshoe as well. I'm looking forward to working with you and our paths crossing sometime again soon. Congratulations, and thank you for all of the hard work that you have done for your citizens in your district.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Commissioner Escadade, I just hope that you pass on to somebody still up here where you find all these secrets and hidden things in the budget. You got them all?
Press got them.
You showed me a few the first couple of years that we went over the budget, but then all of a sudden I hear stuff, and then I look and I go, well, John was right on that. And so I appreciated all that, and I appreciate the knowledge that you gave me of how to run the traps and making sure that the facts are the facts and listening to what's not said. So thank you.
Thank you. I'll tell you the secret. Hugh Walmsley. I went to the school of Hugh Walmsley.
Erica said she's going to miss that rapid fire you used to do.
Erica's not going to share the secrets with you, so you have to go outside.
Well, I have Hugh's number, so that works. Thank you.
And I did, one thing in passing, Lyndon was behind me. I didn't say, I just want to tell Lyndon, it's been a pleasure working with you. You are such an calm, amenable guy, easy to talk to, and it makes it's made it a pleasure. So thank you all very much.
Tell me how to park my car.
Who's gonna tell her how to park her car?
That's what I forgot to say.
Safe driving school.
Last but not least, Commissioner David Cox. January 22nd. January 22nd, 2004, January 7, 2016. In recognition of your exceptional service to the Caddo Parish Commission as the Commission from District 10, your dedication to the citizens of Caddo Parish reflects favorably on you and the entire Caddo Parish community. Congratulations on a job well done. Also, what this plaque does not say is that David is the current president of the Louisiana Police Jury Association. He's also has served as president, too, of the Caddo Parish Commission. But to be in the task of being the president of the Louisiana Police Jury Association is very exceptional coming from Caddo Parish, because in Caddo Parish we have term limits. And typically with having term limits, you might not make it up all the way to president. So it has to be timed perfectly. You have to get in there and you have to hit the ground running real hard. And David did that in the Police Jury Association. As a new member of the commission, and I would go to those state conventions, David would be around, and I look to David to say, okay, where I need to go, what I need to do. And David would give me some advice on what committees to go to on the state level. And in that, I met a lot of people within the state, police jurors across the state, other commissioners or council people, as they call themselves. So, David, I appreciate your companionship as we traveled along the way and as we stayed here in Shreveport, on how you also was able, a phone call away, if I had a question, that you was able to give me an answer, give me some guidance on, and I really appreciate that.
Thank you, sir. We'll make this short and sweet. We have cake. I brought cake.
And we won't screw it up.
And I hope y'all read the lettering on it. It basically says we're leaving this, Michael, John, and myself. We're leaving at a time where the parish is in probably the best shape it's ever been. And like the cake says, don't screw it up. I got something here. It was a symbol. When I first took over for Danny Dumas, he gave me some advice. And what did y'all call Danny? Silver Fox or Godfather or
Silver Fox?
Silver Fox.
The wise old owl.
Wise old owl. And I asked him, I said, on the day that I was sworn in, I says, any advice? And he says, go in there with 2 dimes. Rub them together. And when you get through, or when you leave, and you've done your job, leave those 2 dimes. I think I've done my job.
Yeah.
Billy Hanna. Billy was a rock when I first came on, because I could walk in Billy's office and say, hey man, I got a problem. Well, sit down. Let's talk about it. And we'd talk about it. And the administration, along with the Caddo Parish commissioners, has to have a working relationship, just like, where'd he go? Oh, snuck up back there. Okay. We have to have a working relationship with the administration, with the assistant, with Erica, with Donna, to get this thing that we call government going. The media doesn't see the good side of us 90% of the time. Nothing against you guys, but y'all take a headline and you don't have all the information, but you take it. And then we got to go back to our districts and explain to them, that's not how it is. This is our job. This is what you elected us to do, and we've done that. And many a time I would go in Billy's office, and he'd say, don't get upset. Just go back in there, read, study, and make the decision. And that's what we do. Same thing with Mr. Wilson and I. When he got his doctorate, everybody started calling him doctor and everything. Well, until you write me a prescription, you're just Woody to me.
Okay. Hey, what do you need, man? I got I'll fix
Cameras are rolling, dude. Carl Pearson.
That's good.
He was my rock, my mentor, and I can actually say that between Carl and Joyce, couldn't have speak of any two people that I could learn from, and I appreciate that from your mom. We all have jobs. Most of us have jobs. So for us to be up here and to do a job full-time, and then, in my opinion, come do a full-time job here, because we just don't come like, you know, some people would lead you to believe we do 4 meetings, maybe 2 hours a meeting, and that's it for the month. Well, that's why they don't put their name on a ballot. That's why they're there blowing their hot air, and we're here doing the parish's work. And I want to say to each one of you, y'all have done the best job of any board over the last 12 years and put Caddo in a position that when I go to, or I was in Washington, or I was in New Orleans, or I was in Baton Rouge, people would come up to us and ask us, what are y'all doing now? Because they would take what we do and take it back to where they are, because we've done it right. And nobody, and I mean nobody, can ever say we didn't do our job. We didn't think of the people of Caddo Parish first. We didn't do something just to put our name on a building, or build a building, or build a football field, or anything like that. We took the citizens of Caddo Parish first, whether it's District 7 to District 1, and Doug's not here, but God love him. I think he's a great guy, and wish he was here. We're elected as public officials, and when you look into our eyes and stay a month as far as what we do, like being president, you've learned the hard way what that job has. And when they told me, okay, it's your turn, do you want to do it? Oh, hell yeah, I want to do it. I didn't know the responsibility that had that chair until I had it. So I respect anybody who's either been president or going to be president. Carry the torch for the ones who are staying here. Ken, you the new guy. Well, between you and Jim, y'all the new godfathers. One Republican, one Democrat. Who knew? There comes a time when, you know, leaders have to step up. John, looking at you and Stormy, y'all are the next generation. Mr. Lynn Cawthorn, I've known you for what, about 8 years, and helped sponsor one of his football teams and started getting to know him. He's one of those go-getters that's going to do well here. I have no doubt in my mind that the work that we've done to this point is going to carry on with the group that we have coming in. Question about one of them. But the gentleman that's taking my spot, if nobody's heard yet, he is the first Mexican American to be on an elected body here in Caddo Parish. And I have all the confidence in the world in that young man. So with him taking my spot and a few other ones coming in, I expect great things out of this board. And we will be in touch. Like I said, the convention will be here in March. I will be a part of that, going out as their president. We will be having some meetings coming up this month and next month, getting in gear for that. So any help that y'all can give us for that would be more than appreciated. I brought this glass up here to make a toast. The ones that are staying. You know, as far as you know. As far as you know what he's office. Here's to one of the best boards that I've ever worked with, and I love you all. Thank you.
Wow. Salute. Commissioner Bowman.
Thank you, President. I'll be brief. Love you as well. Again, another friend to not only the family, but my mother. And then one thing I've learned from you is I've learned how to, you said, by watching you, and especially with the Animal Service Committee.
Oh, Lord, yeah. Gotta love those people.
Yeah. You taught me how to have a heart, but also use my head and be commonsensical and read between the lines, and also listen to what people say, but also read beyond what they're saying. And I haven't forgotten that. And I also use that as a mantra to help make me myself become a better person and a servant leader like you all have been, and you especially. And I watched you even, you kind of like Mr. Epperson, you go down to Baton Rouge, these people are like known all over and highly regarded. And just when I thought I had utmost respect for you was when I went down to a convention and you were there, and I got a chance to see how you represented Caddo Parish well, but you represent even currently the state commissioners and police jury very well, and I'm just honored to know that I know you and worked with you, and that thank you for sharing your invaluable time and information with me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bowman.
Commissioner Thibodeau.
Like many of the commissioners up here, you've been an integral part of your community. I know, and that's one of the things that I knew about you before I was ever on the commission is you and Jim Smith. What a real difference y'all have made in the Southern Hills area, and there's been a real tangible difference in the new businesses and just the general. There seems to be an attitude in the Southern Hills now of positive growth, and I think that you are one of the main movers and shakers in that movement, and I appreciate that as much as everything you've done on the commission there.
Thank you, Mike. That it?
No, it's me. Thank you.
Oh, Commissioner Watts.
Thank you, Mr. Cox. It has been a pleasure working with you in this short time, and I'm so glad that I got to know you and got to work with you, and I'm looking forward to continuing to work with you because we have ideas one and the same. So there's going to be some more adventures that we'll get to take together, and thank you for making Southern Hills a model for all of the communities to follow. So thank you for all that you have done, and we won't screw it up.
Oh.
He's like, I won't let you. Commissioner Epperson.
David, thank you for your time and your service here. It was a pleasure having the opportunity to serve with you. We've had some disagreements. One thing about it, you return my phone call. You wouldn't, and I always tell, I say, all those I call, you don't return my phone call. That doesn't mean I want to borrow money. I'm not going to call you to borrow money.
Good, because I ain't got none. Mine's tied up in retirement.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I appreciate all you've done. You've represented your district well. We've got a lot accomplished, as John mentioned, within these last, since 2008. And the ones that are remaining here and the ones that's upcoming, I'm sure we're going to carry that forward. I appreciate your support when I run for executive board in Thibodeau in 2011. You was the first one to go around there with one of my stickers on your back. And you've served the state organization well. We have represented not only Caddo Parish, but the state of Louisiana. We have a great notoriety all the way in D.C. Anytime that we go to our national state conventions, if it's something that needs to be done, they are going to seek out Caddo Parish commissioners.
That's right.
Because we know how to make it happen. You know, we know how to make it happen. And looking forward to our state conference that'll be held here, and which you will preside over, and that'll be your last opportunity, and we'll be calling on you. What is it, RL Truck Lines?
R&L Truck Lines, yes, sir.
RL Truck Lines,
And-
so
yeah.
I can get some tickets from you, and it won't be an ethics violation.
Just amongst friends, right?
Commissioner Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I mean, there's so many words you can say in a day about people, but you need to say things while they're alive and can hear them. So many times they have to die before we get up and say a long speech.
Right.
When you could have said something while they could smell it and hear it,
Right.
the roses. So, this, as you said, this body has been a transformed government and made a big impact throughout America and throughout our state. What I admire about you, you are an independent thinker. You're colorblind and you're party blind.
Oh, yeah.
You don't let race or party play into your thinking. And I admire that about you. You say you're going to vote with somebody, you vote with them. Here again, in politics today, there's not a lot of that. Somebody gave that word, here again, you get to the floor, they cow it out on you. That's what we need more. Let you be a man or woman of your word. And don't play the hide and go see game. And you're very firm, but you're soft spoken. Most of all, your wisdom and the knowledge behind the line of your votes to get things passed. Before you get it, you already got your votes and it's done. So I mean, I like the way I like your politics. I like the way you compromise instead of confrontation.
Yes, sir.
It's better. We did a lot of our confrontation in the back. But when we got to the floor, there are times I got out of line and got emotional, because when you talk about old people and poor people, there is no out of line with me.
Right.
I'm going to be emotional when it comes to poor people, when it comes to old people, seniors, and children. I have no behavior, no etiquette when it comes to that. But you have been a great champion for the state organization. And you've also been a great leader here on this body as being president. I didn't get to know you until we first had our meeting in the back.
The official, unofficial.
I told
When we got out.
I told you I'm from the hood and you from the woods. So
Yeah.
we was able to.
I told you, wait a minute, I told you I was a redneck from Southern Hills.
But we was able to close the chapter on that and move forward. We got a lot accomplished. I mean,
Yes, sir.
words can define the success of this body here. The horseshoe came from me. Y'all can hold on to that too.
Okay. Yeah, that's horseshoe.
But we have, light of what is written and said and talked about on the news. As you said it, you and John said it very well. We've been the most progressive government body in America, one of the best in America. And we don't get the recognition because the media don't always tell the truth. I think Donald Trump said well. But I know you're going to do well in the private sector. You have a great business mind. I look forward to maybe us doing some business things together. So here again, we're just leaving here. We're transitioning to our next chapter of our lives.
Yes,
So
sir.
good luck, man. I'll see you.
Thank you, brother.
I'll meet you in the streets.
You gonna buy me breakfast? I got Mike's lunch, your breakfast. I'm open for supper.
Brunch.
Bless. What a friend.
Commissioner Cox, thank you. Thank you for the fact that you said what you meant and you meant what you said.
That's right.
On here and in the
Back.
commission meetings and in the back. And you have been a true friend, and I really appreciate everything that you've done on the commission body and the advice that you've given me, and the fact that when you say you're in a location, that's where you are, and I appreciate your steadfastness. So thank you.
Thanks, man.
Thank you, and I look forward to working with you on the upcoming convention that you brought
Thanks,
to
sir.
town. Thank you for doing that.
Thank you, Matthew.
That's it.
Dr. Wilson.
Oh, Lord.
Well, it's not going to be quite a roast, but Commissioner Cox, you have been steady as a rock, and I appreciate that. and you've been a great friend of the administration. On behalf of all the employees, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Holidays.
For all the holidays that you have given them and their families.
I got y'all covered.
Yes, sir, thank you, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And on a personal note, not so long ago, I felt myself being a little stressed and my back against the wall, and I called you one morning. I don't know if you remember that.
Yes, sir.
And I
Well,
said-
we've had a lot of talks in the morning.
Yeah, and I said particularly that, David, I need some help from you. And you said, I'm here. And you've been there. And I appreciate that. Sincerely, heartfelt appreciation for that.
Thanks, sir.
So I know this transition, as was said, but we will always be friends. And I'll be glad to take you to lunch, dinner, or breakfast anytime.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Let me mark that down.
Hey, mark it down.
Thank you, sir.
But Cox, you know, obviously I've known you longer off this body as opposed to being a part of this body. But you know what I've observed of you, your love of the parish, your love of the city of Shreveport, and the things that you do. And in the short tenure I share with you here, I saw your capacity to get things done, kind of think out of the box, and very appreciative of that. If there's one fond memory in the terse time that we've been here, was my first meeting with that whole gun thing.
Oh yeah.
I told you, these people got nooses.
Oh yeah.
They not for me.
Yeah.
Oh,
I had fun that day.
You had fun. I was ducking.
Me too. Well, good luck to you in your future endeavors.
Okay. Yeah, I can remember John says, I've never seen anybody sit there and take what you took that day. It was done, and
you and Cheese.
You know,
You and Cheese.
everybody else, every time somebody come up and speak, everybody was going like this.
I made sure you had the hot seat. Mr. Smith.
David deserves a lot of credit for the Southern Hills Business Association success. He and I both had a little bit to do with it to start, but he really worked hard at it. And not only did he help with the Business Association, he helped with the Homeowners Association. And I think all of you know the success both of those entities have out there. We have good membership, we have good, have a little money to spend, and you can see a lot of improvement out in Southern Hills. But David deserves a lot of that credit. Thank you, David.
Thank you, sir. Always a pleasure.
Hold on. Randy, go ahead.
Thank you, Commissioner Cox, Brother David.
Yes, sir.
Tibbs, Commissioner Williams, Brother John Escaday. There's a whole lot of things a whole lot of us could say, but we won't. Just want to let you know, all of y'all know, all four of y'all know, we ain't saying goodbye.
No, sir.
We love you.
Yeah.
We'll see you later.
That's right.
That's right, man.
And on that note, one more time, even you guys from the media, love you to death. We do have cake in the back, so.
We're not through yet.
Oh,
Got one more
Lord.
person.
Okay.
I just want to say something to the group of four that are leaving. I know I have a unique relationship with each and every one of you, and it has been a privilege to work with you the last 5 years. I remember John was the one that actually said to me I think I was at a wedding about this job, and if my dad would have been alive, he would have said, "Don't touch it with a 10-foot pole." But I can tell you, it's the best decision I ever made to apply and get this job and come work for all of y'all. And I appreciate it.
We pay well too. We pay well.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, I just want to say that with the four gentlemen that are leaving, it's been an honor and a pleasure to serve with you as a commissioner. Each one of you have been president before, so you have the leadership ability and leadership skills. You have left something with each and every one of us that's still here. So come back and visit us, sit out in the audience, and we'll recognize you. And I will call you from time to time just to bounce some ideas, because I've had some great debates with John. I had some great debates with Mike.
Makes you great.
And so those debates actually have made me better as a commissioner, and it's helped me with my temperament as well.
Got a great
So-
one too.